All right, we'll use the crank straps for the clap. Or the tear. Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3.
Strap yourself in for episode 3.
Episode 3 of the Coping Box. I'm excited for this one. How about you? How are you feeling?
Man, let's keep this momentum going. What's not to be excited about when you back up Tim Ward with Sesamora and follow that up with...
All right, coming through the door, who could it be? Oh! All right, welcome.
Ladies, gentlemen, people
Josh watching, Clarke. Josh Clarke, welcome. Cheers. All right.
Soul grind, negative plates. Yeah. 360 top sold on that pussy.
What's up, world?
Take a seat, man. Put the headphones on and let's get started. So episode 3, very, very happy to
Here we go.
Bring Josh Clarke into the Coping Box.
Thanks for having me. How's that? I feel very special.
Yeah, man. This
special
is exciting.
guest.
Special guest? It's
special guest.
I really
special
feel special.
guest.
Really humbled to be here. Humbled to be part of it, and looking forward to some memories.
Sick. All right. Well, for those who don't necessarily know your story, like let's start at the start. So the first question, we'll go through the stuff. How did you get into skating? Like, where did it all kick off for you?
All right. So we'll go back. I'm not sure the year, but it would be grade 6. So I'm 40. I'm nearly 40. So
yeah.
Heartbreak High. You guys remember that?
Yeah, dude, for sure.
So Heartbreak High came on TV, and
Australian teen soap.
yeah,
Cal Mulvey.
Schoolyards of Hartley High.
Yeah, so I'll go a bit before that, actually. A few months before that, it was rollerblades first came out, and I was in like grade 5, 6, primary school with Chris Corvino.
Yeah.
And rollerblades were all that, you know, and I used to skateboard.
Yeah.
And I just said to Mum, I want to get rollerblades. And she's like, all right, yep, we'll get you some rollerblades. So Mum put from Cash Converters, there was a pair of like old blue rollerblade hockey skates with the metal frames. And she put them on lay-by, and she got them for me for my birthday. So I started skating. They were my first skates.
Which birthday?
10th?
Yeah,
Something like that. It was like grade 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mum got me these skates, and me and Corvs, we started, you know, we'd skate after school down at Overport Primary, like.
At the school?
At the school,
yeah,
at my primary school. So
yeah.
there was a set of 4 stairs down the back, and there was these 2 chicks we used to skate with. Hayley Moore. It turns out this girl was actually, my first pash was actually on my rollerblades.
My story's so similar to this as well.
On those 4 stairs,
yeah.
right? I actually kissed this girl. First pash ever on the rollerblades. The funny thing was, back then, the girls
the
were...
first trick you did over a set of stairs was a chick.
Yeah, well, pretty much. But these girls were actually better than us.
Yeah, right.
At the time. So this was like right at the start. Like I could barely skate. And there was a set of 4 stairs, and we're jumping them, you know, 180, 360. You know, they got all right at it. So we did skating a little bit, you know, after school.
Yeah.
Didn't really get into it that much. And then it kind of faded out a bit. And then one day, Heartbreak High comes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So me and Corvs have already skated, but this show come out on TV,
and then everyone's wanting skates.
Well, it was that one where Bolton, Johnny Pollard, old friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's skating through the school. He's got the hockey mask on, and he's like going, you know, through the corridor, and he jumps the stairs, and then he does a grind over this car or something, or a rail or something, and something just clicked, and I was just like, fucking.
Sick,
look at that. And no shit, I rang Corvs on the phone, and I was like, dude, have you seen this? I'm like, let's start skating again. Let's do it. Like,
yeah.
And so we actually started again, like the next day at this school. We went back to those stairs, and I made it a point to get like better than these girls. So, you know, they could actually jump the stairs. So we started, you know, stair riding, and there was a couple of other kids at the school. There was this guy that was like 2 years older than us. I don't remember his name, but he had like the LAX, you know, the Roces.
Yeah.
And he had the rollerblade helmet and like
Like the flyaway one, the pointy one.
Yeah. And all this new stuff. And you know, I was from a poor family, so I just had this shitty old pair of, you know, these rollerblade skates. And then mum splashed out and actually got me a pair of laser blades from Kmart.
Sick.
And the
With
laser
the brake
blade,
on the back?
Brake on the back. I took the brake off.
Yeah.
And but just remember like those bearings. Like after 2 weeks, it was like, you know, like
all noisy and like full of sand.
And then
shit.
someone said to us, "Oh, you got to get better bearings." And then I got mum to splash out, and I got a pair of Nachi bearings, and I put the Nachis in the laser blades, purple wheels.
Yeah.
And I just fucking went like I started skating.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Like
free.
fluid and stuff. Yeah, sick.
And that was pretty much where we started. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's in Frankston. So with the so you start doing that and whatever. What did you start going to a skate park and stuff? Or when did that sort of start to
so
kick
what
off?
happened then? So in Frankston, we started skating, and then the next town over was Kananook, dodgy as. There was a mini ramp there, so it was Kananook Mini, and so one day after school, we got some. I had to beg my mum for some money for the train.
Yeah.
We jumped. We finished school. Jumped on the train, one stop to Kananook, get off there, and there we get there, and there's this team of rollerbladers, like black shirts, all matching shirts, jeans, pads, everything, and it was like it's a Team Shaft, and we're like, what the fuck? Like these guys are sick.
Yeah.
Team Shaft.
I love the 90s names. Hey.
So this is where I met Dion. So Dion was already skating.
Yeah.
He was already skating for about a year then, I think, and I remember I was so shy and awkward, but I remember like just I was too scared to get up on the ramp, and I'd just sit there and watch these guys, you know, and then I would actually go home and come back to when there was no one there for me to get the confidence to start going up
Cesar
and down.
said the same stuff. Like he was like, I didn't know what to do, so I'd go to a ramp that no one was around and just try it out.
Yeah, I was like such a shy young kid, you know, like not around my mates, but around. It was so new to me, and but there was just something there, and so these guys, they were just like, I was just like, fuck, like this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I never forget, like there was this guy on the team called Cody. He was like, I don't even know. He wasn't even good, but he was on this Team Shaft, and he said to me, he's like, oh, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, you know, I want to be on Team Shaft one day. And he's just like, he goes, whatever, mate. You're shit. He goes, you never be.
You're not cool enough
team.
to be on Team Shaft, mate.
Enough. He's like, you're not good enough. So, and that really like threw me back a bit.
Yeah,
and,
right.
But we kept going there.
Should we be thanking Cody for?
I think he's lit the
helped
fire.
shape you?
Yeah, but like you know, we kept going back there. I mean, Chris kept going back every night. We'd start going after school, and then we slowly got to know these guys, and Dion was like, you know, he kind of befriended me in a way, a little bit, and you know, he started teaching me a few grinds and taught me to drop in and.
On the laser blade still?
Yeah, I was still on my laser blades then, and then what happened was it was Christmas Eve. We were at Kananook Mini Ramp, and my mum said I got to go home to wash the dog or something like that. And Corv's mum usually picked us up.
Yeah.
And she didn't have room for me in the car because she was full of Christmas presents. So what happened that day was Chris drove home and I skated home. Yeah. And on that skate home, I went over a double highway and I got hit by a car.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah. So I hip and shouldered. I went over like 3 lanes, and I didn't realize that one of the lanes was still going through. So I've skated through, and a car's come through at about 60, and just cleaned me up. So I hip and shouldered the window. It threw me right up in the air. I did like a big flip in the air, and I came down and I broke my wrists and broke my collarbone.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got up. I was in complete shock, and I got up and I skated off, and I'll never forget, like, everyone, all the people in the cars, they all stopped, and they were all like, what are you doing? And
Where you going,
and
mate?
I'm fucking skating
I'm
down
going to
the
go
street.
home.
I'm skating down the street, and they finally stopped me. I was in full shock.
Yeah.
And they stopped me, and I sat down and on the grass, and they called the ambulance. And the guy that hit me, he's like yelling and screaming at me, saying, you know, you're paying for my car. And like, I'm like a 10-year-old kid.
You just ran me over,
Yeah,
dude.
so this is Christmas Eve. I went into hospital that night.
Yeah.
I spent the night in hospital on Christmas Eve, and then that was it. The doctors are like, you can't skate for the whole summer.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm, you know, at home, my family all chipped in and got me a Super Nintendo. I'll never forget, and like, you know, Donkey Kong. And so I'm sitting at home with my plaster, and you know, I started skating again in my backyard like 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
On my grind pole and that. And then out of the blue, one day in a little mini, there was a you know, Jodie Tyler.
Yeah.
So she was also in Team Shaft.
Yeah. OG Jodie Tyler.
OG
Look that
Jodie
up for
Tyler.
those guys
What's up,
watching at
Jodie?
home.
So Jodie and Dion,
Frankston local.
yeah, and so she had these minis. She was a mini,
Yeah.
those mini cars, yeah.
Yeah.
So out of the blue one day, Mum's like, "Oh, there's some people at the door."
Yeah. This
And
is pre-internet kids as well.
yeah.
Like,
So I've got up and seen her at the door, and there's Dion at
right.
the door with them, and I'm like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we just came here to see that we heard you got hit by a car, and we bought you a Daily Bread magazine." And
sick.
And I was just like,
Do you remember which one it was? Or is that...
it was one of the first.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I was just like that. You know, I didn't realize that they thought of me that. You know, and I was just fucking. I was so like in shock.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, these guys, like, they actually like me, and you know, and that from that it made me, something clicked, and like I said, like I kept skating in my backyard, and I didn't even care. I had a plaster and that. I kept practicing on my grind pole and just going at it. My mum's like screaming at me out the kitchen, like, what are you fucking doing? You know, you're going to break your wrist again. And I'm like, it's all right, Mum, I'm fine. And then, you know, I got through that and got off the injury, and then, started going back and sessioning with these guys at the ramp. And then we became friends. And from then, like, you know, Jodie, she was like our taxi driver. Poor old Jodie. She used to cop it from us, but she used to,
How old are you at this point? Like,
Shout
still
out
young?
Jodie Tyler.
like grade 6.
Yeah, right. So Jodie's got a license, obviously.
Yeah,
so she's like
yeah,
17.
she's older, yeah,
18
yeah.
or something.
And so she's driving, you know, this is a few months later, she's driving us around in her car, these little shits in the back. So there's Dion, there's me, and there's Corvs, a couple of other guys, but she was, you know, we just started skating, and she took us everywhere. And
Sick.
yeah.
All right. So you do that, right? So you've gone the laser blades.
Yeah.
You start skating.
Yeah.
When do you start venturing into, you know, like,
Well,
you get, where does that,
Well,
what
this
happens
is
next?
when it started getting serious. So we started going to, it was when the shed first opened. And we were pretty good. And
Indoor skate park.
Cranbourne, yeah. And that's when I said to Mum, I'm like, I need new skates. Like, I need some proper skates.
The laser blades aren't cutting it.
So there was a shop in Frankston called Trigger Brothers Surf Shop.
Yeah, it's still around, actually. Yeah,
still there.
Yeah.
So they had a little mini ramp in the back.
Sick.
Right? And Dion was actually sponsored by him.
Yeah, right. So they had skates and stuff back
They
in the
did.
day.
They started it off. Yeah, they were selling them. And so they ended up, I actually got a little sponsorship from them, sort of, and they gave me a discount on the Roces FCOs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they just re-released those, I
Well, there
think.
you go.
Did they re-release those?
No
Was
way.
it? They
What,
have.
black with a green cuff?
Yeah, no, they've got all the different colours and
Yeah.
stuff.
So I got a pair of those, and then I think they lasted a few months. I just grinded through them, and then me and Dion at the same time both got a deal, and we got the Roces Vert with the metal frames.
Yeah.
So that was the start of these metal frames.
That's pre-Impala as well, not the blue frames, the silver ones.
Yeah, silver ones. So that was my
Low
first.
riders?
Yeah.
That was it was FCOs, then low riders.
It was Roche's
Yeah.
low riders, and was there two size metal frame skates?
Nah.
No, there was two. There was the Vert and there was the blue.
It was the
blue
vert.
frame. Yeah.
It was the vert. So it was the black boot, white metal frame.
Yeah.
You're grinding just like, you know.
You're making the noises and stuff.
Yeah.
That's sick because they remake all that sort of stuff now,
Sessa mentioned he used to cut his hands
like doing grabs and stuff.
on his frames.
Oh yeah. All the time, yeah. But I actually grinded, like, I grinded there. My groove was like this, and I grinded all the way up, and it was a tiny little crack up the top, and then they split.
And that's when they're good though. That's when they're just getting
like,
good.
You know, you could just. That was like when we started doing shifties and just holding, holding that shifty in the backside. So I pretty much skated the verts for. It was a good year, I reckon, and then they had the Vic titles at the shed.
At the shed.
So,
So what year is this? 90s.
Yeah, I'm not too good with years. This was just like, you know, I would have been year 7.
Yeah.
So this is 2 years after all of that. So year 7, year 8, and
94.
Yeah,
It's in 4 in a row mag, I feel. Anyway,
but no, I think this comp I'm talking about was
It's
before all that.
pre 4 in a row?
So they had one of the first Vic titles, and it was when all the guys from Sydney came down.
Yeah.
And there was like Sessa and that was pretty much where I didn't win or anything. I think I might have won the under 16s or something, but Sessa kind of, that's where he, you know, kind of
was like, come in.
He's like, you know, he wanted to get to know me, and he's like, you guys are amazing. He's like, I'm going to get you sponsored.
Sick.
And I'm just
did you understand what that meant at that time? Or was it kind of like
No, I don't know. It was just excitement. It was just this guy, and they're like, so we did the Vic titles, and I won something.
And who was Sessa sponsored at the time?
Oh,
Sponsored by?
Roces.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the week after that was it was a big comp on Bondi Beach. So it was the Bondi Beach Classic, and it was in the Bondi Pavilion, and it was this comp with the blue ramps, and I don't know.
Tom Fry won the street.
Nah, I won the street.
Nah, I love that. Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. So it was that. So the next week we went to Sydney, and I ended up winning some comp
So
there.
it wasn't the Aussie titles.
Nah,
Okay.
it was the Bondi, some weird like one-off Bondi contest.
Like ramps in a...
It was inside the pavilion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had this like mad like death box, like a NIS one, like it was like up across and down rail.
Yeah.
And I did like, I went up and like backsided across the top, across the flat, then to X
Down.
grind down the thing, and everyone was just fucking flipping out. Like,
This is before Shifties.
yeah, no, we were
Royales
doing them
for
then.
everyone
Yeah, we
not
were
from
kind of doing them then. Like
the
we
band.
were like right then was when it all came out. So I was learning shifties. I was learning, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And then that was when Sessa was like, you know, I'm going to get you sponsored, and he ended up speaking to Roces. I don't know what he did, and he got us hooked up with Roces. So we started getting free
Sick.
states.
So
Yeah.
who's us and we? You and Dion?
Oh yeah, it was me, but then
Dion Anthony.
Yeah, but I think Dion got a few free pairs at the start, but then he might have started skating. I'm not too sure. It might have been rollerblade, but that might have been a bit too early. But yeah, I started getting free skates then. So,
Sick. So
yeah.
that's like the M12 around that time as well? Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
All right. So you do that. You start getting sponsored. And then like, I guess you're starting to, at that point, traveling into the city and stuff to skate more, or like...
Well, so this whole time, yeah, like when this the Vic titles and that, you're right. Like, so there was SMC.
Yeah.
So we started every weekend. We'd, you know, finish school Friday night, get on the train, hour ride to the city, get off at
Flinders Station.
Flinders sometimes, but then the Melbourne Central,
Yeah.
and then go down to SMC, and that's where everyone was, you know, and we just started going there, and then that's when we met all the other boys, but we used to go to the city and then stay the night with friends.
Yeah.
Like a different house.
Someone's different.
Yeah, so Friday and Saturday night, we'd spend the night in the city. We'd wake up in the morning, go skating,
Sick.
and then I'd go home on Sunday night back to Frankston, back to school.
So like SMC, for those people who don't know, like SMC was a skate shop in the city, and they had a mini ramp and like really like it fostered the scene in Melbourne.
Yeah, and like I never forget like getting off the train. Like this is when Frankston was like, you know, pretty full on place. And like we used to get off the train and go down the ramp on our skates, and all the junkies would be down the bottom in a big group, and they'd just start fucking yelling at us, and they'd start throwing bottles at us, and we just like go as fast as we can and put our heads like this and
Skate the gauntlet.
Exactly.
The junkie
and just fucking go through it, and like it was gnarly. Like we experienced a lot of stories from around that station, but we we stayed alive. We we looked after each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's starting to. So you did the Vic titles. When was the first Aussie titles? What, 97?
94.
Yeah.
No.
So then this is the build up to the Aussie titles on the beach.
Yeah, in St Kilda. Yeah.
So this was the first big one. Yeah, and like I said, like that, it was on a Saturday. So
So the
that
Aussie titles on the beach
Yeah.
where BP was.
yeah.
That was 97.
Yeah. So this was my big one. This is the one I'll never forget because that night we went to the city Friday night, stayed with our mates, some house in St Kilda, and we all skated there that morning to the comp.
Yeah.
With all my other little mates.
Yeah,
and
like
that.
to the comp skating.
Yeah, we skated to the comp, mate. Like we skated everywhere.
Yeah.
I did Ks every day. Like, so many. And that day was my day. Like I won under 16th Street, under 18th Street, and Open Street all in the one day.
Sick.
Just
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
Like
And what do you like?
As in, what about the international affair as well? Didn't you win that too?
yeah,
That
no,
was
I don't think they had just had under 16s, under 18s, and Open.
Okay.
I won 3 trophies.
Was the Open the international affair where
I think
you
so.
were
like
against
Julio and
Zach-
stuff was that?
Yeah.
Julio, Zach, Webby, Murphy.
Yeah, or maybe that was a different bit. Yeah, maybe there was a different bit. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I won those 3. Never forget that day.
Sick.
Yeah.
So what did you win for that? Was that like? Is that you got like some
Oh, mate.
some cash or like?
No, I think it was like some T-shirts, some. I think maybe Danny Crank sponsored it, so it was some crank straps and crank straps and a trophy and. But that's where, like, from there,
It's
like.
Tony Ree's T-shirt, by the way,
But we just kept
autographed by everyone.
we just kept we met these guys in Sydney and that was when like we started regularing. So on the school holidays we used to get on the train and go to Sydney.
Oh, that train journey
we
is horrible.
used to do that.
Yeah.
We used to do that.
Yeah.
I did it like 4 times, and then we'd go to Bondi. We'd stay at Josh Pincus's house.
Yeah.
And we'd get there, and then we'd skate down, and we'd go see Sessa at the shop
Yeah.
he was
Because
the
he was at
manager.
Bondi boards and
he
blades
was
and
there.
stuff. Yeah, sick.
And we were locals down there. We were there like 3 school holidays in a row.
Yeah,
Just
nice.
like mashing it up in Sydney. It was sick.
So that's all right, sick. So that's a progression of your, let's call it a career. Let's say that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where it starts. So you get at that point you've got Roces sponsorship. You're starting to get
this
known
is no
around.
money.
Yeah.
This is
but
just skates.
you're just getting
Yeah.
skates. Like was Ronda around in those days or was pre-Ronda?
Yeah, no, that was Ronda.
Yeah. So you're starting to get some skates and stuff. So
So the
when
pattern of it's not Go for Action. It's what's her
Well, she
distribution
was-
company?
Oh, I don't remember. It was Patent Agencies.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
That was what it was called. So then this is all happening. We're going, around up and back from Sydney, going into Vic titles, and then one day Dion's like, "We're gonna go to America," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, good one. Like, how are we gonna go to America?" He's like, "I'm gonna pay for your ticket," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Anyway. He's like, "No, I'm serious." Like, so I don't remember exactly. We have to get him on here, but he got a sponsor from someone.
Crank straps.
Could have been Oxygen. No, it was no Australian company.
You sure?
okay.
But anyway, he might have even got the money together. But anyway, he had a ticket, and Dion, I don't know how he did it. He got the money,
Yeah.
and he bought me a ticket. So
Okay.
So my first trip to America, I was 16 years old. Like I said, Dion's like, "Me, you, and Jody, we're gonna go to America."
yeah.
And I remember coming home going to Mum like, "Mum, I'm going to America," and she's like, "Yeah, good one,
good
mate."
one. Yeah,
She's
right.
like, I'm like, "No, I'm serious. Like, here's the ticket."
Yeah.
And she's
Did you
like-
have a passport at that point?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
I had a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Mum, I'm going to America," and she's like, "Nah." And anyway, I'm like, "I'm serious. Like, we're actually," and she's like, "All right, I need to speak to Dion's dad." So Mum gets on the phone, calls Dion's
yeah,
dad.
yeah.
They have like this quick 5-minute chat. And so this is like, it was the start of year 10.
Yeah.
So I'm 15, 16. And Mum's like, "All right, well, you going to America?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to America." And then I'm like, "I'm dropping out of school."
Yeah.
And she's like, "All right." She goes, "Honestly, I think you'll learn more in the world than
Yeah.
you will at Frankston High School.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you do your thing."
Yeah.
I just said I can't concentrate. I'm just like, and my school level then was, I was wagging. I was, I was just going to the city on Fridays, and I was just over it.
That's all you focused on.
Yeah, I didn't care. I was like, Mum, are you gonna let me go? Like, so yeah, we got this ticket, and then a few months later, I got to get the passport, and turns out we were gonna go to New York City, FR Wheels. So,
So Nick Hartman and
Nick Hartman. So this is Sessamora. This is all Sessamora too as well, because Sessa was skating for them too. But we got involved with FR and Nick Hartman. So we flew, me, Jody, and Dion. We all got on a plane. We flew to New York. Funny story. We got to LA. I'd never been on a plane in my life. I'd never been. Just to Sydney. We used to catch a train. And
you didn't have flights though, then, between cities, really.
Never been in another country, so this was big for me, and I was a pretty, funny kid, and I was pretty. When I was around my friends, I was comfortable and very funny and that.
But introverted, right? Like
but leaving the country and that I completely at the start. But so we got to LA, and I got off the plane, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm really thirsty. So I went to the toilet, washed my face, and I drank some water out of the tap.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, fuck, fucking, what's wrong? Like, and we get on the plane to New York, 5-hour flight, and I'm fucking shitting and vomiting the whole way, the whole 5 hours. And then we get to New York, and I'm, I was just sick. I was so sick. And we were there, and like we got there, and we're at we get off the plane, and we go to Nick Hartman's house. He lived in it was a West Side Highway in New York, in a real trendy area. It was in the meatpacking area. It's real trendy now, but back then it wasn't. So there's me and Dion. So Jody stayed in LA, and me and Dion jumped on the plane and went to New York. And we're just these get off. We're like, take us to.
Did they come to pick you up, or you just
we just jumped in a cab?
Yeah, right.
And we got there. We're in the West Side Highway in the middle of New York. I was 16 years old. 7 a.m, standing in these empty streets, and we're like, oh, is this the place? Like, we've got an address, and like, we're knocking on the door, and there's Nick, man I've never met in my life. He just said he'll take us in.
Yeah, nice.
And so we
on a recommendation from Cesar. That's sick.
So
Blind faith's a beautiful thing.
So we had no money.
Yeah.
No, like I had a ticket, and I don't even know what the fuck we were doing there. Like when I think about it now, it's like fuck. I don't know. I would not let my bloody kid go. You know. And we got there, and like straight away, like Dion, he's such a fucking charismatic, confident, dude, but for me, he always used to tell everyone like, oh, Josh, he's the funniest dude. Like, Josh, do that thing you do. And I'm just like this. Like, I couldn't say anything to. There's Aton Kramer. There's Ryan Jacklone. Dave Ortega.
You've seen these guys on like TV and stuff by this point.
They're my heroes.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking Dave Ortega.
Yeah.
Like, and they're there. Then we're that first day, and Nick had this trampoline, and we're all jumping on the trampoline, and Aton Kramer, and they're all practicing their stale airs and 360s, and I was still sick, and I went to the doctor, and they did some tests, and because I couldn't sweat, like we went skating, and I was like, I couldn't sweat.
Yeah.
And I got these big rashes all over my body.
Yeah.
And those rashes turned into like blisters, and then my skin started flaking off, like where my pads were. Because I had elbow pads, knee pads, all the pads.
As was the style at the time. That's it.
So I was really sick, and the doctor, like, they figured it out, and they're like, so what have you been drinking? And I'm like, I've been drinking orange juice because it's healthy. And they're like, how much orange juice have you been drinking?
That's
and I'm
right.
like,
I heard about this story.
And then they did a test, and they're like, mate, you've fucking overdosed on vitamin C.
Right.
Like you're halfway to fucking killing yourself. And I can't remember. They said I had to eat. They gave me a little bag of carrot. They're like, you got to eat carrots and drink water, and so they fixed me up. So this is like 2 weeks into our trip. So this is a 3-month visa.
Yeah. Okay.
3-month visa, 3-month trip. So we're like 2 weeks in, and then so Dion. Dion was like, up here
Yeah,
already.
yeah, yeah,
He was
yeah.
already. He was so popular. He was so.
People knew who he was.
Mate,
like,
and
yeah.
he got sponsored. He got this fucking mad sponsor. It must have been Rollerblade or Oxygen or Rollerblade. I don't even remember. But so I'm in New York at Nick's place, and then Dion all of a sudden, he's off.
Yeah.
He's at the comps.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
So, the NIS and stuff?
Yeah,
or-
all that. So he went to the first. Nah, that's right. Now I remember. So we got in a van from New York. We went on an FR tour. We
Yeah.
drove. It was me, Dion, Ryan Jacklone, Aton, the whole FR team.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
drove from New York to Florida
Uh-huh.
in the van and went to the NIS comp.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did this NIS comp on Miami Beach. And Dion, he was.
How long was the drive there? Like 1 week or 2 weeks?
Oh no! It's like. It was
Did you
like
take it slow?
yeah, it was like a day, 2 days.
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
okay.
that. Yeah. It's not.
I mean-
it's like from.
I'm thinking
It's like from
just-
Queensland to Victoria.
Yeah,
The same
exactly.
coast and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple of days, mad. We stopped on the way and we get to this comp and Dion just like I said, he was just amazing and he everyone was just fucking
Yeah.
obsessed. So he competed, did this run, qualified first. Then
Yeah.
I had my run,
Uh-huh.
and what happened was I actually did really well,
Yeah.
but. I swear to God, the fucking judges weren't. I got fucked
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
first one. They didn't.
Who was judging? Do you know?
I don't remember, but they
Fuck you.
they didn't. It was like they didn't see me because everyone was like, "Wow, you didn't make the finals."
Wow.
And
okay.
so Dion won,
Yeah, okay.
and I skated fucking really good, and I didn't even make the finals.
Did you get paid still?
No, I wasn't getting paid then.
No, but like from the comp? Or,
No,
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 okay,
I didn't
okay.
make. You only get paid when
I was
you
going
make
to
the
say,
finals.
imagine
Okay.
getting paid. Yeah.
No, you get paid when you make the finals.
Well, that's what I was
if
saying.
you
'cause-
come
yeah.
10th, you get a check.
Yeah, that's it. Because
Yeah.
that's back in the, so you
Yeah.
got to make the finals to get some money. All right.
So Dion won, and then he was off. He was on these tours, and I went back to New York, and then remember who were the brothers?
The
you know,
Distlers?
Yeah, the Distlers.
The D-Clan.
Yeah, the D-Clan,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the other two young boys. I've gone blank. They're my old mates.
Oh. Yeah.
The two young brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
We'll have to put that up on the screen in this. We'll put
So we started skating. So it was like me, Gil Vasquez,
Yeah.
Ozzy, Tajaya.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Tajayas.
Yeah.
Those boys, those brothers. So
Yeah.
it was me
Tajada.
and those guys. Yeah, something like that.
Tajada.
We
There's a J.
we-
Could be a yeah.
we just I stayed in New York for the 2 months,
Yeah.
3 months,
Yeah.
and we just skated every day.
Sick.
We went to the banks.
Yeah.
I actually knew my way around New York City like better than
Yeah.
anyone, and I stayed there, and Dion went off and did his thing, and then that was it for that trip, and then
Do you meet back together and fly home
oh
together?
we did
or-
at the end, yeah, but then so we came home.
Dion and Jacqueline got along pretty well.
Yeah, they all did, but they were all like, so I was kind of like, I wasn't left behind, but I was stoked as to be there. It was just all so much for me. Like I said, Dion used to be like, Josh, do that funny thing, and I'm just like, like it took a while for me to get my
become comfortable with that kind of thing.
yeah. I was a bit of a strange kid, and then we came home, and that trip was over, and then that was when Sessa really hooked me up. I got sponsored by Roces properly.
Like properly on the pro team or like just
I was on the pro team, so
Yeah, okay.
I got a contract.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I got a contract sent to my house in Frankston, and one of our neighbours was a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, my mum's like, oh, yeah,
Can you look at this for me?
Yeah, I don't know, I don't want him signing anything, and they looked it over, and they're like, yeah, it's, they just get paid, and you got to do what you do, and
So they start paying you, like, is that, like you've quit school and stuff,
Yeah.
but that's like, is that comparable to like a, a job kind of thing or?
Well, I used to be on at the time the Aussie dollar was pretty bad. So if I got paid in US,
Yeah, okay.
so it was like $2.5 grand a month US.
Right. So you're walking around like this, like, okay.
Well, it was. So I started getting paid, and I was getting an equivalent to like it was like $500 or $600 a week.
Yeah.
Something
In the late 90s.
Yeah.
So like that's
it
decent.
was heaps.
Yeah.
Like I had fucking money,
Yeah.
mate. Like,
Yeah.
And when they send you on holiday for a contest or when you were overseas, did you have your expenses paid for?
So what happened was that next year was my year. So we went home. I got sponsored. There was some more comps in Australia, and then we waited till the next. It's our winter there, summer.
Yeah.
We went over there again, and that was, I think, the first. Yeah, that's what it was. So there was a X Games in Thailand.
Yeah.
And I went to Thailand, and then I was in Thailand, and I got invited to the. It was the Ultimate Inline Challenge. It was an invite only.
That was a Levi's thing? Was that one?
No, it wasn't Levi's. I'm not. It was some big invite only, and somehow I got an invite.
Yeah.
So I went to the ASA in
Was
Thailand.
it at Universal Studios?
Yeah, in Orlando.
Yeah.
So we're in Thailand, in Phuket. Fucking so hot, man. Like crazy. Have you guys been there?
Yeah.
So this is right on the beach. It was just the hottest place.
My wife and I went, like, every time we go to somewhere like Thailand, we argue with each other because it's so hot until you go into air conditioning.
So imagine that, like just to do our practice.
Yeah.
You drop in, you do 2 tricks, and then you go back up, and they had a huge, big Gatorade tub full of ice water, and you just dunk your whole head in the water, and then just
come
chill.
back to normal.
Yeah, just chill. But so we're there in Thailand. 4 in a row. Jamie Driver and all them were there. All the Aussies were there.
I was going to say it was covered in an issue for
You got someone crashed a scooter. I remember reading that, being like,
Me.
was it you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'll tell you that story quickly. So we're in Thailand, and we're all in this huge like biker gang. There's like 30 of us, and like all the older. There was Brooke Howard Smith, and they all had like these. I don't know anything about bikes, but they had like
some cool bikes.
Fucking I don't know Kawasaki's or fucking whatever road bikes, and I was always a bit funny with motorized stuff because I was in a car crash and I got hit by a car.
Yeah.
I was always a bit funny with. So I got my postie bike.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like, everyone's like fucking 2Ks in front of me. I was the most unconfident driver ever. But we're in the middle of nowhere, and we had to turn around, and on the side of the road there's these 2 huge like water drains. They're like at least overhead height, like these big
trenches.
Trenches. So I've stopped, turned the bike around to flip it over and go back the other way, and for some reason I've accelerated. And I've just gone like straight into the fucking thing. I jumped off the bike, thank God, and it went straight into this big ditch.
Yeah,
and then all the these locals had to pull me out. And so I had to pay for the whole bike.
I'm pretty sure there's a photo in 4 in a row of that bike.
Something. But someone else actually crashed their bike. I can't remember who it was.
I was going to say, did anything else bad happen?
There was. So that comp was crazy. And another quick one and we were like, Thailand's fucking... we're so young and we're at the strippers and like, there's all these fucking lady boys, all that stuff. Anyway, we get drunk and I end up getting up on the stage and I'm like trying to dance with these strippers and I got a beer in my hand and I'm like, and next minute I fall off the stage, like from this high.
Yeah.
I fall off, fucking miss my head on the corner of a table by this much.
Yeah.
And then I had a beer in my hand and it's just gone bang and I smashed the beer and it split my hand.
Yeah.
Like
perfect place to get a nice gash in Thailand.
I remember, I never forget, I was so drunk and then I saw that and I just went and I was just like, and I was in the hospital.
We're in trouble here.
Yeah. So I cut my hand. Anyway, we had the comp. I ended up coming second. So Blake Dennis won.
Yeah. Okay.
I got second.
Yeah.
I forgot who got third, but so from Thailand, then we flew to America to the Ultimate Inline Challenge.
Yeah.
And I was the last minute invite only. And we did that and I ended up winning it, like out of nowhere, like everyone.
Is that this one here?
Yeah. So that's this here. First place, street course, Ultimate Inline Challenge.
Sponsored by Rollerblade. I like the ultimate in the very 90s looking.
Yeah. It was all set up in a street sort of style setting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But it's not.
Universal
you look
Studios.
back at it now, like I watched the footage of it now and it's like, but it was cool back then. It was like cool as shit, And I won that. And
was that televised and stuff? Like, was that,
it was huge. And I never forget, like Nick Hartman, my wheel sponsor, he was on the judging panel and all these guys. And they all just like, I never forget, they just flipped out. And like people were like fucking throwing chairs on the course and everyone was just so stoked. Because the reason I won was, because back then, like you had like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And on average, people used to do like 7 or 8 tricks.
Yeah.
But that was my thing. This is before I used to skate really fast. But I used to, I did a lot of tricks.
Yeah.
So I did. Everyone did say 10 tricks. I did 20. You know what I mean? I just kept going. Like 540s, and then I'm doing a talk, and then I'm doing a wall ride, and then people are just like, "Fuck, he's still going." And I just creamed them all. Like it was.
That's one thing. Like you said, like before I used to skate fast, I was asking people before he came in. I was like, "What do you want to ask Josh Clarke?" And one person, a mate of mine, he goes, "Oh, I heard this story about like he was at a comp and like the ramps were shaking, like because he's going so quick and doing so much shit. They're like like that." Yeah, that's sick, man. That's really cool.
So
Josh speed is what
Josh speed. That's it.
Yeah, but this is still like way back, you know. Like so, I watched the footage of this, and it's like, you know, I'm not very proud to watch it. Like it's so like.
But that's what it was, though.
I know. But like I compare that to stuff we did years later, and I'm like, yeah. But you know, so then so that I came second in the ASA in Thailand. Then I went to the Ultimate Inline Challenge, and then the week after that, there was another comp. Yeah. It was the Virginia Beach ASA.
Yeah, okay.
And I won that. So I won 3 in a row. And then there was some other comp in Boston the week after that, and I came second. So I was Aaron Feinberg. He was a good mate of mine. So me and him are like balloting it out.
Yeah.
And we're at this comp in Boston, and he ended up winning. Because
you guys are about the same age as well.
Yeah, we're the same age. Yeah. So we're at this comp, and that was when out of nowhere they're like, "Oh, do you want to go on the Hoax tour?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "The Hoax?" I'm like, you know, Hoax 2.
I want it. This.
You know, Hoax 2 is like, you know, we grew up, and they're like, "You want to go on Hoax 5?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fucking." Pack, you know, they're like, right, so
I'm in. I'm all in.
After this comp, you pack your bags. You're gonna meet us at this hotel. So I'm at my hotel in Boston or whatever.
Yeah.
The fucking van rolls up. There's like Rollinson and like and they pull out, and we just put my bags in there, and then we went on tour.
Was that real? The footage where Rollinson lays down the rules?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. Him
really,
and Sam were like butting heads.
Was that really you showing up to the van with your bags for the first time?
That was real.
Yeah.
That was them filming me at my hotel. That was my sponsor saying, "You're going here. You're doing this. You got to wear the t-shirts. You got to wear the Roces shirts. You got to follow your contract."
You check it on YouTube. It's Hoax 5. Like you can literally check it out for those watching at home.
Got some rules. Really.
So like you do that. So you're what, 16, 17 at this point?
Yeah.
So your head's just like, what the fuck is this? Like,
But that was when I was like, I started, I got a bit of confidence. Yeah. And you can see in Hoax, there's shit of me just being stupid. Like you look closely in the Hoax, and there's clips of like the bus rolling past, and I'm like hanging out the window, like, doing the chicken. And like I'm telling some
girl, that thing, Josh. Do that thing. I'm already doing the thing.
It was all happening then. Like
So Hoax 5, alley-oop soul on that like curved, is it King Trail? That
one in New York. That was in the Bronx.
Yeah. That's sick. That's such a good trick. So you do that, like, so what was that trip like? Like getting on with Rollinson, because you would have known these guys beforehand.
Well, no,
not at all.
Not really.
No. Like, I mean, like known of them.
Everyone, mate,
of
they
course.
were my heroes.
Yeah.
I was like all of them. Like the biggest one for me was like when we first went to like meeting Arlo.
Yeah.
Like those first, when we were first in LA, those first weeks, we went to Arlo Eisenberg's house.
Yeah, right.
And I hung out at Arlo Eisenberg's house,
sick.
and then Matty Mans just came down the street, and we all skated together down to Venice
Was that
Beach.
True as well?
Nah, that was like
who was.
We were just staying. We were just
you and Arlo.
Oh, I couldn't remember. We were just like the Aussie guys, and Arlo wanted to hang out. So it was like Netta Gane.
Through FR, kind of, somehow, someone knows someone.
Netta was from FR.
Yeah.
And like little things like that I was just so starstruck, but then they became friends. It was very really surreal at the start.
Was that
but
when
then
they were living in Venice?
Yeah.
And that was, so who else, like Arlo, I'm trying to think of it, was like, there was another guy I'm trying to think of that was in that sort of same scene living there. I just can't.
Yeah, but to have those guys just like come up to you and go, "Oh, hey, Josh." Like, it was like,
oh mate, this is my story with you when I was a grommet as well. But anyway, it's the same. It's the same thing.
It was, it was surreal. It really was
sick. So all right, so you do that. So let's talk through Hoax. So how long did the Hoax tour go for?
I think it was like.
Hoax 5.
Hoax 5, not
Yeah.
the original.
It would have
Hoax.
been like
You were in Hoax
3
3
weeks.
in the Aussie section.
Yeah, in the Aussie section. So that was, that was when they came to Melbourne to film at the Aussie titles.
Yeah.
That was then.
The one
was
that
2
you
years
beat them all.
before. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it would have been about 3 weeks. So we drove, like they got us in Boston. So that's on the East Coast.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we drove all the way
To the West Coast?
to the West Coast.
Yeah, okay. Like through like Middle America. and
Middle
stuff.
America.
Yeah, right.
Gnarly stuff.
Oh, dude, Middle
Like-
America was hectic. Like,
Gnarly
yeah.
stuff. Yep.
The desert.
And like on that tour, like I was really friendly with like me and Aaron. So it was me and Aaron Feinberg.
Yeah.
So we went on this. He came on at Boston,
Uh-huh.
like I was saying. So
Yeah.
we were competing. That's when we became mates.
Yeah, yeah.
And me and him were like, we both, we like to smoke a bit of weed, and me and him are just like.
Yeah.
we're just hanging out and smoking and skating.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and Jonathan Bergeron,
Yeah, oh, no.
he was on there, and he was a
John Bling.
crazy, awesome dude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
full on like rapper, like break dancer, fucking sick skater, skateboarder. Like that time,
Is that footage of him skateboarding?
mate, that
yeah.
at
You know,
Florida.
he became like a rapper.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
But
his
that,
career.
that clip in Florida. So
Yeah.
we're at this iconic spot in Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're all skating, and this fucking dickhead skateboarder comes up, and he's like talking shit, and Jonathan's just like, "Give me your fucking board."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
dickhead. He's like, "I'll battle you right now."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he takes the board. The dude takes the rollerblades.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't have a clue that Jonathan Bergeron can actually 360 an ASA box on a skateboard. Like, and he just fucking wiped him out. It was so sick. He did the big, he ollied into that triangle
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
The
yeah.
spot's still there. And that was just so good. It was just one of those really good, like...
Just
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Get back in your box,
fuck
mates.
you, mate.
Was
Like,
the board? Was it there on the line? Was there the skateboard? It's like, I'll keep your board if I land this.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like
Walk
that.
home,
I
mate.
don't really
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
exactly, but yeah, he was a legend. So yeah, that tour was, it was me, Aaron, Sammy, and Roland, like you've seen in the movie, they're all like butting heads and just two big personalities,
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
camera,
yeah.
with a camera in front
Yeah,
of you.
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
I never really took part.
Was
in
it like that camera? Were they filming in like proper film, or
Yeah.
was it like
yeah,
it's-
everything?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had like
yeah.
3 cameras on us the
Yeah,
whole time,
yeah.
so you just got used to it. But it was really cool. Like I remember Rawlinson saying, like as soon as we got on, he's like, "You don't have any socks or anything, like
Yeah.
we go skating, you wear a pair of socks and undies and then you throw them in the bin." So that was on the Hoax account. So
Yeah,
they used
yeah,
to
yeah.
buy us. That's why we're all wearing white shirts.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
They bought us t-shirts, undies, and socks.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
Don't stink the van out.
yeah, and the bus was fucked. Like I
Yeah.
remember, we were pissing in bottles and
Yeah,
like throwing it out the door, and
Yeah.
This
is so different to the tours that we go on. You just like
Yeah.
got gross socks fucking flapping in the wind trying to dry them and stuff.
And we stopped and we were doing demos, and it was magic, man. Like
Evan Stone was
Yeah.
the cameraman.
yeah.
Did it feel like you were being in a video clip compared to
No,
David
like
Payne's
you just like when they
Charles
were,
Stone
I'm not
film?
really good in front. Like I wasn't then. I'd be fine now, but back then I was, I was a bit shy when I was getting interviewed, but on the tour you just kind of forgot about it.
You're just part of it. You get wrapped
Yeah.
up into it.
Yeah,
man.
you're part
That's
of it. And then like the skating was just like I was skating like. It was really easy for me then. I was just getting better and better,
Yeah.
and I was just like conquering shit. And
But you're
just,
coming into your own as well.
Yeah.
Like that's. I feel that's the point when you're like 16 to 18.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
when
And-
you
Yeah,
get.
because I used to
everything.
be a bit tall and gangly, and even then I was a bit tall and gangly.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I still hadn't filled out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me, looking at that, like my style, like I'm always like, like
Yeah.
but like in my latter years, when I filled out and you kind of develop your style a bit, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Sick.
But
Alright.
no, the tour was, it was what an experience, and I always appreciated where I was. I always stopped and went, fuck, like.
Look like
Like,
for a kid from Frankston.
Yeah,
like,
I was so lucky. I was like, it was like I was like in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And just this kid from Frankston, and like, like everyone, like when I quit playing footy to start rollerblading.
Yeah, yeah.
Like my coach.
Yeah.
Used to come to my house going, "Josh, what are you doing? You're such a good footy player. What are you doing this rollerblading shit for?"
Yeah, yeah,
Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah. Like, he actually came to my house 2 years in a row to
Yeah.
beg me to play football again.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
offered me McDonald's awards after every game, and And then
remember getting the McDonald's award? You'd be like, I get
And
like
then-
a
and then-
$10
What was your
voucher.
position?
Nice.
I was ruck rover. Yeah, I was really good. But anyway, they 3 or 4 years later, he contacted me and he said, Josh, I just want to apologize for not. He goes, because he saw me. I was on Sunday Sports in Australia. I was on fucking TV, and he saw it. My coach saw it, and he's gone, fuck. Look at this kid. And he came to my house to make an effort, and he said, I'm sorry I said that. You know, good on you for following your dreams.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know.
You've done it.
Yeah.
And did you be like,
No, I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like, thank you. You know.
Yeah.
But like years later, you know, I just realized he was
offered
just,
him an autograph or something?
yeah, like, but you know, and I kind of turned into like, you know, like I was never at school, and like all of a sudden at school, I was like, you know, I was like,
I'm the man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I never was
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like this enigma at school.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone was just like, fucking, you know,
Coolest thing to happen in Frankston High or what?
pretty much,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and because that school was really sporty, they used to actually say oh, one of our students
Is just going off to
and
do
then,
this.
Yeah, and then like, but even before I dropped out of school, they actually let me pass year 10, even though I'd failed on attendance. They let me pass.
Yeah.
Just
Because of what you're doing.
Yeah,
You
because
hear
He's
that a
made
lot
to
with a lot
finals
of
enough
people in
time.
this. It's
He made
that-
enough finals.
Yeah, you've made enough finals. You've won enough
Picked up
comps.
enough sponsors.
But like you hear that a lot with let's call it
Going on
action,
enough
like, the
Australian
action sports,
television.
not extreme sports, but action sports. But you hear that like, oh, I went to school, I got to graduate earlier, I
Yeah.
got to do this so that I could do this
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
where it's at. Yeah,
No,
sick.
They understood it all.
So all right, so we got Hoax 5, sponsored by Roces. You're doing that stuff.
Yeah.
You're traveling around
Yeah,
the US
then-
and everything.
Yeah, so that was
Have you turned 18 yet?
yeah, I think so, just about. And then so that was the first year in the US. I did nothing. Then the next year was my year. Like we said, I won all the comps and I got the big sponsor. This is when I got so I was skating for FR. Then I got offered money by United. So United started this wheel company. It was like me, Sam,
Julio on that as well?
Julio,
Yeah.
Brian Jaggers.
Yeah.
I've got photos of it. We're actually modelling. There you go, United Wheels. So I left.
Nick Potter.
I actually wrote Nick because I
Glenn.
used to write letters to
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
Like I was
To Nick Hartman?
Nick Hartman.
Yeah.
I used to write him really
Rolling
sweet letters.
Alliance.
We've actually spoke about it years later, but I wrote him a big letter like resigning from FR, saying
How did that feel to do that?
it was really hard.
Yeah.
Like I used to write to him. I think people like Nick and Cesar, I've realized years later I was just screaming for like male role models.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I had such a shit dad and
Yeah, yeah.
I never had my family involved. And I think these people like Cesar and Nick, like Nick for me, I was just drawn to him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was he was like a father.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah.
a role model.
Yeah, because he
And,
would like that.
And leaving FR was like one of the hardest things I did. I wrote, like I said, I wrote a full letter, like explaining everything. And
did he write back to you?
Yeah.
And like he was like, I get it, or
and he does. And I spoke to Cess about it, about a year ago, and Cess had spoke to Nick, and Nick still remembers.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like he remembers these letters that I used to write. So it's pretty full on.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I look back on it now, and I'm just like, there's reasons why I was like this with with these guys.
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
So you moved on from FR to...
Yeah, so I moved on. We did United. That like we started getting paid. It was $500 US a month.
Okay.
So
on top of the Roces stuff, so you're doing it right.
And this is comps too.
Yeah.
So and getting back to the money thing, like that time when I won those comps, like not only did I win 3, I made the finals in 10 of them.
So you're getting a bit of money coming through.
On my second trip there I was there for 3 months. I come home, no shit, I had a pile of checks. This thick.
How do you cash that in Australia though?
Whoa, there you go. So that's another story. See, you get taxed like crazy, but through SMC, one of the old school skateboarders was one of my mates.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but he worked at the Commonwealth Bank on Swanson Street. And I came back from America and we started talking and he's like, mate, you come and cash your checks with me. So I don't know what he did, but I had probably 70 grand worth of checks. I should have been taxed almost half of it, I got all of that money.
Yeah, okay.
So I had, I was 18.
And then 18.
I had
In what, 98? No, around that time?
I had 75, 80 grand in my bank account.
Yeah, okay.
And then I've got my mum like going, I'm got to take that money. We've got to put it.
We're going to do something.
Buy your house, fucking do
yeah.
something. And I was just like, fuck, no.
I just want.
It's a good thing you can't remember his name. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I had all this cash, and I just had fun, mate. Like, so I was 17. That's right, I was 17, and I said I want to get a car, and I was like, well, you can't get a car until you're 18.
Yeah.
So I had this plan. I was like, oh, I got a plan. I'm going to ring Josh Pincus, and I'm going to say to Josh Pincus, I'm going to send you a letter. saying that I'm moving to your house. So I called the Commonwealth Bank and I said,
because you can get the license in New South Wales or something.
New South Wales, you're 17.
Yeah.
So I had, I'm like, right, that's what I'll do. I'll pretend I live at Josh Pincus's house and I'll buy a car. Yeah. So I rang the bank and I'm like, I've moved to Sydney. Can you send me a bank statement to this address? Yeah. So that was my proof of address. So then I got my proof of address. I went to Sydney. I stayed in the northern beaches at Kalamulvi.
So
Drazik.
So now you're hanging out with Drazik.
No, I was always friends with him.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like we're going through that thing. So for those people
Heartbreak
who don't
High,
know,
Drazik.
we went back to Heartbreak High. So Kalamulvi was Drazik.
We didn't mention him.
Yeah. But that's
I forgot that. So we're on he lives on the northern beaches with Lara. She was the other star of the show. Yeah. And they were our good mates. So Dion was good mates with them. Yeah. So that's why I was there.
So Kalamulvi's now in acting in 300 and stuff and he's
So I'm 17. I've gone up to Sydney. And Dion had this fucking sick BMW. He bought this 318i, this old classic Beamer, because he had all the cash then. And he just I remember I just used to take his car and I'd be driving around the northern beaches of Sydney, teaching myself how to drive.
Yeah, because you're unlicensed completely, just learning how it works.
But I'd booked in my tests, in 2 weeks. So I got my license. I actually failed it the first time. So I had to stay.
All the best drivers do. I did the same.
No, because it's different road rules in Sydney. So I read the book in Victoria. It's a few different things. So I failed. So I stayed another 2 weeks. Applied for the license again. I got it. And then so I came home and I had my license. I had fucking all this cash. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm going to buy a car. And we went to, because I actually had an agent then. So me and Dion had... we're probably the first rollerbladers ever to have sports agents. Yeah. We had these guys...
looking out for you, getting your contracts.
Well, I signed another contract with these sports agents. Yeah. So they were friends with Jamie and Luke from 4 in a row. Yeah. So we got connected through them. So this is another contract that I had to get looked over by my neighbours.
The neighbours looking after you here.
Yeah. And so they were our agents. And I said to him, I need to buy a car. So he came with me and I had... Fuck, I'm so dumb. I had 14 grand cash. Yeah. Fucking cash money. And I went to this
age 17.
Yeah, I went to this car dealer. I was so dumb. I went to this car dealer and I'm like, I want to buy a car. I want to get this. It was a VN Calais. We did VN Calais. You know, how sick was that back in there? Full Franger boy here. What's your first car?
Silver? Like the Walkinshaw?
It was white with the grey trim. Yeah. So fucking sick VN Calais. And I went to buy it, and I pulled out cash at the till. I couldn't buy a car. The guys just laughed at me. He's like, "Mate, you got to go and get a money order." I was, is that what they were? Money order. Yeah.
So, take it to the post office. And they
so I bought a car when I was 17. So and then I couldn't insure it because I was 17. So my grandma had to insure it, and
as the driver. Yeah.
And then I had my car. Yeah. So and that was the start.
Did you have to get your grandma to falsify this? You didn't live in Victoria?
No, it didn't. Well, funny, I never got pulled over in that year that I had that car. So I didn't have to do it. But I would have had to I would have had to come to that. Yeah. So I had all the cash and bought the car and me and my mates from the city, Ali Taylor and Freddie Gannam and Forbes and all these other guys, we just... I just used to shout everyone Maccas. I was I just blew my money. Yeah. I bought shoes.
Easy come, easy go.
Mate, it was, and years later, I'm like, I should have just listened to my mum and just, been smart. But But looking back, I don't regret anything. So
You live a lot, but that's the thing. You said that. Mum said, all right, you're going to learn more traveling, doing
Yeah.
this, whatever.
yeah,
Like it's,
yeah.
it's sick. So that happens. All right. So you're at that point, you're starting to skate, like 4 in a row is a thing. It's all happening.
Yeah.
So how did you start to approach skating at that point? Like,
Well,
did your mind...
this for me, I see what this for me is what kind of killed it for me, because like when you're a pro like that and you're on a contract and you got to be at these comps every weekend,
Uh-huh.
I got over it real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
one year, like the next year, I went back on the tour,
Uh-huh.
and I was just like, I just.
Lose the fun kind of.
And I used to get really homesick, like
Yeah.
like our little Melbourne skate scene. Like I actually used to be in America, and I used to be wondering what the boys are doing
Yeah, yeah.
back at home, and
Yeah.
and it was just competing. And this is when we started going to Europe as well. Like I went,
Like Lausanne and stuff?
Yeah, I went to Lausanne. I went to the.
How many times did you attend Lausanne?
Just once,
Okay.
and I did my trick.
You did a full cab alley top soul disaster.
No, it was full cab alley
Alley
soul disaster. And
From
me
a
and
quarter
Shane
to the down road,
Shane Saviors were skating together. He did the gap to over alley oop,
Yeah.
and I that was the only trick I did, but it was like the sickest fucking one of the best tricks I've ever done.
In one of these VGs, possibly 8.
Yeah, something like that. But so it was around then, and
In fifths.
being in Europe, and like I never forget like being in in Lausanne in Switzerland, and I was there with Tom Fry, and like they're all like, rolling up hash, and I was like, Tom, you got to teach me how to roll a joint.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, nah, I can't teach. I'm like, fucking just teach me, mate. Like, come on. So we started smoking weed, and we started like partying a bit, and I don't know, like I was over there. It was me and Tim Ward, and we're in a hotel in Munich together, and we both didn't really give a fuck anymore. And like I never forget, we're in this hotel, and we racked up, like we were getting like room service and watching porn on the thing, and like doing all this stuff. And then me and Tim, we're like, oh, we're just gonna not check out. So we
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just left.
Yeah.
And then we went home and that, and then we get a letter from Roces saying,
What have you done, boys?
no, you guys, what have you done?
Yeah,
This is wrong. You've broken your contract.
Right.
Right?
You're going to get the lawyer from next door. What happened
No,
here?
they're like, you've broken your contract. This is really bad. They said to me, you got one more chance.
Okay.
And they go, we're gonna send you to Italy, because I'd already been to Italy to do to the Roces factory, and we do research and
For
development.
like when they were making the fifths and stuff? Were you a part of that?
I was part of that.
Yeah,
I was in
sick.
there, like I was testing the skates.
You know they remade the fifth
Yeah,
now. They've
yeah,
just come back
yeah.
out. Yeah.
So I was there at in Montebelluna, tiny
Yeah.
little town in Italy. We were there staying and testing the skates on their dodgy little skate park, and but anyway, they said, right, you're going to go to Italy again next month. Here's your ticket.
Yeah.
We'll see you there. And came a few weeks later, came to it, and I went to the airport. My mate Anthony overall dropped me off at the airport, and I'm standing there like looking up at the thing, trying to look. I'm like, fuck, where's my flight? Like, the fuck's going on? Where's my flight? My flight's not there.
Yeah.
And I went to the desk, and they're like, mate, your flight was yesterday.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I was like, uh-oh. And that was it.
Yeah, yeah.
They from then they sent me a letter saying your contract's cancelled.
Uh-huh.
So that was it for getting paid from them.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Was it? You read the ticket wrong, or the ticket was printed wrong?
I just read it wrong. I was just a little stoner, mate. Like I was just off with my mates in my car, skating around, and just flopped it. And that was my. But deep down inside, I was over it. I didn't want to go. Like I was just like, I'm fucking done. Like I didn't want to skate. I didn't want to get told when I had to skate. Didn't want to compete anymore. I didn't want to, and I just said, fuck it. I don't want to do this shit anymore. And then so we came home, and then I actually quit skating. I said, that's it.
All right.
I'm having
So
a break.
Has the millennium happened yet, or is this still?
Yeah, this is around 2000.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, yeah. So I wanted a break, and I actually didn't skate for, at least 8 months.
Uh-huh.
And then my return to skating was, I think they had a Aussie X Games down at the Docklands.
Planet X.
Planet X.
Yeah.
I remember, I gotta jump in here. I used to watch that as a young kid, and they had like the motocross,
Yeah.
and then the inline skating. But it was always rollerblading would always be like the little 10-minute segment
Yeah.
or some shit, and
Yeah.
I'd just get the VCR and shove it in there and record it and just watch it over and over again.
No, it was sick. So that was like that was kind of like my return to skating. And
Through this 720 over the launch.
that's
box.
it. Yeah, and I was dropping in. I was like launching up from the little quarter, and I was soul grinding the big vert wall and back down. I was dropping in backwards on that big vert wall. I was doing some good shit.
You dropped in on that. Man, this thing's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I
It's
stood up there and I went,
It's like one of those vert walls that's not
Yeah.
supposed to be.
It's supposed to
hit
be
at
you
the
go
top.
up. You
Yeah.
don't go
No, you
down.
you're not supposed to reach the top.
Yeah. Okay.
and then so that was so I had a few months off. I went in that comp. I came like 7th. Like,
Is that's the one where Cesar broke his arm or whatever? Or maybe.
Not sure about that.
Yeah, Cesar broke his arm
Yeah,
on the vert.
because he was talking about it. He was like, I would.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brad knocked himself out.
Yeah.
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 So we did that, and then
And Sinsman did a double
and
back.
then a few weeks after that, they had a comp in New Zealand. And,
XL or something?
So this is when I
XL.
wasn't sponsored by Roces anymore.
But you're still skating the skates or
No,
whatever.
so I was still sponsored by Rhonda Patton.
Oh, okay. So
Roses
you're like Australia Roces,
Yeah,
but
so
not.
I only got free skates.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
fine. I was stoked. I never paid for a pair of skates.
Yeah.
So Rhonda is like, I'm going to start skating again. I'm going to make a comeback, blah, blah, blah. And Rhonda paid for me to go to New Zealand, to
Okay.
the X-Air over there,
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
it was. And we're in New Zealand, and it was the day before the comp, and we were down there with the local news crew, and they were filming us at the town square in Auckland.
Uh-huh.
And there's this, there's this big fountain we were skating, and Brooke was there, and he was doing the interview. And,
Yeah.
and anyway, I've done this. It was like a set of stairs with a rail, and then there was a big concrete block there. And I've gone as fast as I can, and went to jump on the block. I jumped the stairs,
Like
landed on
onto
the
the
block,
block.
and then 180 off.
Yeah.
And I was going so fast that I jumped on the block, I hit the thing, and I misjudged it, and my feet just went bing out from under me. And I've gone I was like 8 foot in the air, straight back, wrist down, and that's
Just snap.
yeah, I fucked my wrist, and and Brooke, he's like, oh no, you're right. Like, I'll take you to the hospital, but no, it's just a sprain. You'll be right. And then we get to the hospital, they X-ray me, and they're like, oh, Josh, you're gonna have to have surgery. And I'm like, no. I don't have insurance. And they're like, you're from Australia, you don't need insurance.
Okay, that's right. I'll take the debt. Give me the best surgery
And
you got.
So they ended up, they operated. I tore all the ligaments, and you see the scar here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got 2 metal pins, a screw, everything in there, and so that was my first big injury.
Yeah.
And
And followed up immediately with a skate contest at Adelaide or something.
yeah, I can't
You're
remember
wearing
that.
a plaster cast.
Yeah, maybe if I had a plaster on, I could have been. Yeah, but yeah. So I started back again, and then kind of got I got injured, and then that was when me and Corvs one day we went to Sydney to help Dion set up a party, because he used to be a party promoter, and and then I remember on the way home on the train, me and Corvs are like been up all night, and we're like
Yeah. You know how you're like,
and we're like fuck, we should get a camera. And let's ask Rhonda for a camera.
Yeah.
Buy us a camera. And they're like, yeah, sick. So that next day we got home, I rang Rhonda. I'm like, me and Corvs, we wanna get a camera and then film and make a Roces video. And we're like
an Australian Roces video. Yeah, sick.
Yeah. And that's that was the 8 reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
A video by Chris and Josh.
Yeah. So we this is no sponsors or
24
anything.
minutes or maybe more.
Yeah. So this was when we got this, what was it? It wasn't even hiatus.
Yeah. And who did the editing for that? Was it both of you?
Both of us. But,
Yeah, right.
But Corvs was I'm fucking the most hopeless person on computers in the world.
Yeah.
I'm, but Chris is really smart. So we had, we did it on, I don't even remember what program. It was the old one that everyone used to use.
Yeah.
But we edited it. So we filmed.
Yeah.
We were at my mum's house in Frankston in a little dingy room because I moved back with my mum.
Yeah.
And he did it all. I sat next to him. I was more of the
artistic guy, like
creative
all right.
director. So I was the music. I was putting, and he was sitting there doing.
He's
that.
the technical guy. You're the all right. We
But they
needed to
both
do
had
this.
taste.
Yeah, I was the creative director.
Yeah.
Basically. So yeah, we did the first Roces video, and as amateur as it was, and it was like, it was fun, and going up and down the East Coast and filming people, and that was just skating all day, and then going home and watching the footage and editing, and then doing it again the next day. That was.
But that, like, I feel that speaks to you as well. Like there's the whole go overseas, do all that stuff, and you were saying like I want to be with the dudes, like with the homies. I want to be skating with them, and that's exactly what you're able to do. That's so good.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, I missed everyone in America, but like I'm an Aussie boy through and through, and I used to get really homesick.
Yeah.
And I was happy to be home, but after that, like for me, that's when like I feel like I started skating my best.
Yeah.
And so we did the Roces video. And then we did the next one, which was 8 Reasons, and
which was the Lost Island.
Yeah, the Lost Island. Sorry, 8 Reasons was first, and we just, for me, that time was that's just passion and
it's like early 2000s at this point.
It's like two young dudes that didn't have a clue, just going for it, mate. We didn't care like who gave us shit, and like look at it, it's on a VHS in black and white, like. Done in my mum's fucking...
35 minutes, 11 minutes more than the original.
Yeah.
Does it say that?
This is 24 minutes or maybe more, which means that if you fast forward, you get Danny from Skate Warehouse.
Yeah, that's right.
Quoting
That's right. I forgot
Bruce
that.
Lee.
Yeah. That's right.
And this one goes for 35 minutes.
Yeah. So for me, looking back, like that, like the Lost Island, that time was... It was like I actually moved, because we moved up to the city and we lived in Paran, but we actually moved back down the coast, and we used to go back and forth. And I had my mates from Frankston, and we just, those few years are like so special.
Yeah.
And they, it was like real blood, sweat and tears and just passion.
Like blue collar, man. That's like you're proper working for that sort of thing.
Yeah. And just like, I remember like skating with people.
Blue collar tricks.
Yeah. Skating with people on the weekend, and I'd be like, I didn't work. Like I was on the dole.
Yeah.
And I was just scamming the dole the whole time.
Yeah.
And we'd be out skating with these dudes. They're all like, oh, like, what are you doing tomorrow? Come skating with us. And they're like, nah, it's Monday. We've got to work. And I'm like, oh, you guys work. I can work. We skate, mate. Like work. No, like that. This was before I'd never worked. This was I'd been a pro rollerblader, and then we started making movies. I'd never had a real job ever.
Did you get some money back from this as well?
No.
Like, not really, not at all. Yeah.
A lot of people watched this video, though. It must have reached a lot of.
Yeah, but we were just young amateurs right at a time when VHS was turning into
DVD or whatever. Yeah.
So
this is DVD.
Yeah.
Remember
How
those
many
ads?
copies? How many copies did you?
I think we got like
manufacture?
500,
500
something like that.
of each.
Yeah, something like that.
It's on YouTube. You can check it out. It's
it?
definitely worth a
All
watch.
right, cool. Because
Brad
some of it
Watson,
might be
shout out
blocked
Brad.
because you have Led Zeppelin in there.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, yeah, we said it at the end, but we didn't ring people and ask for rights to the music.
Yeah,
like
of course.
we said, we're two young dudes in Frankston. Like, who's gonna fucking say anything?
Yeah.
Where was Lost Island 3? Where was 8 Reasons 3? Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where it all, we kind of stopped after that. Like,
So what happened from skating from here? So you've brought this out. You're like, this is like maybe 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Timeline.
Yeah.
Is that what happened from there?
Well, like I was saying, like we didn't work, and it all started getting, we had to pay rent. We had to, so
you got to live.
So I started my own like rollerblading clinic. It was like I had flyers. I was going to bring them in, but I couldn't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
It was a learn how to rollerblade with Josh Clarke flyer that I made.
Yeah.
And I posted it all over St Kilda in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Is
first
it upstairs at Box Hill?
No, that was a different. That was a I did that through. That was a school holiday program
Okay.
that I did. Where I did that twice.
Same concept.
Nah,
Come let Josh.
yeah,
Clarke
sort of.
coach you?
Nah, but that was we actually looked after the kids for 5 days for like 5 hours a
camp.
day.
Like at a camp kind of thing.
Yeah, they came and me and Corvs did that, and I figured out I had a full like
Curriculum.
day,
and
yeah,
schedule.
curriculum, and we played games, and we made we had prizes for them, and we basically just looked after the kids.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
skated
Like
all
like
day.
after school kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
all
yeah.
day through the holidays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is
yeah.
when Liam
Liam Harris.
Liam Harris.
Liam Harris, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was one of my little students.
Yeah.
And I was teaching him how to topsail or something, and he smashed all his teeth out, and he broke his wrist, and like,
Mate, I've got so many stories of Liam like doing tricks and whatever, but
Yeah,
anyway, it's
yeah,
another time.
yeah. But
Created one of the great Melbourne street
so
skaters.
it was that when I had those flyers up. One of the first people actually called me. I actually did. I used to charge like $40 an hour, and I'd teach people how to do handrails, like in the city. I had spots.
So sick.
Yeah, like I used to
Talk
meet.
to me.
I used to
Tell me
meet,
where you can take me as someone
I
that
used to
might
ma-
be interested in learning how to. What can you teach me?
Well, I used to take them down to that spot under the bridge where the aquarium.
Oh, okay, the aquarium legends.
Yeah, that was where I used to do
I
I did my lessons. So I used to teach them how to jump up on the ledge. Then I used to teach them how to do a 180 off, and we do a 360.
Off the end, the high end.
No, the low end.
The low end.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
And,
spot's gone now as well.
Yeah,
They
I've
just
seen that.
Currently being redeveloped.
Yeah. So so that these guys that I met through these guys called me. They were like these 30-year-old guys that lived in St Kilda, and they were like my first clients, and we ended up being friends.
Yeah.
And their roommate was a chef. And I was like, oh yeah, sick, like yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Chefing's cool. But one day out of the blue, he just rang and he's like, oh, we need a kitchen hand to wash dishes. And I'm like, dishes? Like, yeah, I need money. Like, yeah. So he was at the lounge in the city, and then I went there and did a dish shift, and I started washing dishes.
Yeah.
And I did that for 6 months, and then just that's pretty much where I started cooking. Like the chefs used to have their breaks, and I used to, when the chefs were out of the kitchen, I used to get put on the grill and
start learning things and whatever.
I was just like, I was
It
really
was a
good.
funky spot. You know the place?
No, I'm not sure.
Man, Swanson Street, around the corner from SMC, just near Lonsdale Street, but it's upstairs, big outdoor deck.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
club.
yeah.
It was a
Pool
restaurant and
table.
club.
Yeah, it was like a cool club
spot.
in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were like,
Funky
cool
joint.
spot to be. Like, man, and Corvs used to work there too. I got him a job there. We were like the only straight people in there. Like,
Yeah.
it was all just gay dudes and lesbians and
yeah,
real party
yeah.
animals, and that's pretty much where I started cooking and just
So you sort of transitioned out of skating a bit.
a little bit,
Found
yeah.
a bit of a career.
Yeah,
Sort of.
and that was kind of like we still skated. Like that was when we all lived in Paran. And and I used to skate like every 6 months. I'd just rock up and like still smash it, like I haven't skated and I can still do it. Like,
Oh man, Paran, like I'm gonna be so sad when they change that park as well.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. But yeah, it's
It
kind
was
of
still before Paran Skate Park existed.
Is this before the
no, this is
when the new park was there?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, New Park was
Well,
about 2004,
that comp where you did well,
2003. Roller Bash.
that I came there and I hadn't skated in
Oh, okay.
nearly a year,
So
and
you're
I
above
and
your
I
stage,
and I
yeah.
came second, and
Skating around in a pair of like Ollie Short Majestics or something.
and you won, yeah.
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 That would have been what,
That was-
2004?
That was a time where, I remember the time where you were winning and then Blake was starting to win and then Hayden was eclipsing you.
Oh
You were
yeah,
third.
but I was like,
And then by the time that roller bash happened, Hayden was injured. Gav had come into the game and was like, I couldn't compete with
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
But both him and Hayden were injured at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I reckon I might win this. I reckon I got Josh Clarke.
yeah,
And
And you
whoever
did.
I was like, I think if I can beat Josh, I think I got this. He came second.
Yeah.
so
But
So,
you
like,
won
one of the-
you won a measly $50 maybe.
I won like enough money to pay off the shoes down the road that I had on layby.
Nice.
I went and paid them off
Yeah,
at
perfect.
Evolve and came back to.
So my Josh
Did he
Clarke
walk ceremony?
comp story is there was a street comp in Newcastle. And so Tom Cameron,
Newcastle, yeah.
So Tom Cameron and I used to work at Little Boy
I know
Blue.
Tom Cameron.
So
yeah.
Tommy and I, like, we grew up skating together
Yeah.
in Newcastle.
I didn't know that.
So we went to there was that street comp. We went to Rad's house afterwards.
Yeah, I remember
And
Rad's
I remember
house. The big party at Rad's house.
storming in. Who the fuck ate my pizza? And me and
Really?
Tom were sitting there like might have partaked and might have been stoned out of our guts just
God.
eating this pizza. And we're like, I don't know, man. Oh fuck, we just ate Josh Clarke's pizza. Like 16 years old or something, 17 years old. Being like, oh no, we just did that.
I do. If I was a dick, like, you know, I must admit, back then there was times when I was definitely a dick.
Oh man, I fucking laughed so much. But then what I do remember from that clearly was like there was everyone skating that rail, the first spot in that comp, and it's like that perfect chrome rail, and you were doing like 270 back Nugan or something or front Nugan down it, and everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? Josh hasn't skated in like, so this would have been maybe after that, like, we haven't seen Josh skate in like years. He just came up for this, and you were shredding.
Yeah,
but that's always my memory of you is like
But
whenever
that was hard. That I remember it now because we drove up. And we didn't sleep the whole way.
Yeah, right.
And we got there just like opened
As
the
it's
door
all starting.
like this, like fucking.
Is that the one where I forgot my skates?
Oh, I'm not sure.
We
But-
drove in the van that Sam
Yeah.
recommended because he rented
yeah,
it
we
on
hired the
tour.
van, and then on the way home, no one had money for petrol, and I ended up paying. I ended up paying for everyone's petrol because
I
all
woke
classic
up-
skaters like, who's got money for petrol?
Oh nah, man, nah,
we
it's all
tried.
right.
Yeah, no one.
But they
I'm
got
like,
beers, weed, and ciggies.
Yeah.
Easy.
We've been driving through the night. I wake up, it's like dawn, and I'm riding shotgun, and we're not on the highway. We're on a small
Oh, that was
road.
when I.
I'm
No,
like,
because I was.
Hey,
I
man.
remember now. I was learning to drive manual.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and we're in the van, and everyone was asleep. Yeah. And I thought we were going to run out of petrol, so I've got off this exit, and then
Trying to find
everyone
like
was
some country
asleep.
town petrol station. We are so far off any road.
Yeah,
that
like
is
everyone
gonna
was
have a country
asleep,
town.
and I had this idea. I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get off the road." And then they wake up and they're
I
like,
wake
"Josh,
up
where are
riding
we?"
shotgun. I'm like, where are we, man? Oh, yeah, I gotta find it. I was like, dude, get back on the highway, man. The service station will be on the
Yeah, I
highway.
remember that.
Guys, tell Josh.
I remember that.
But they're the best times, man. Like getting in a van, just going for a
Yeah.
trip and stuff. For like,
Yeah, no, that was good.
yeah,
Yeah.
sick. So, all right. So you do that, you sort of transition into cooking, whatever. And then there's almost like a bit of a Clarke comeback to a point. There's a few
Yeah.
years of like you back on skates,
Yeah.
like, and then the one that's really vivid in my mind is the vivid in my mind, and I completely forget now. But was it the Ramp Fest comp, and it was like the OG thing, and it was like now I'm really blanking. I feel like you should have
OG
been there.
at Ramp Fest.
Was that?
We had an ARO there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there was like Manuel was skating, like Ian Smith, like everybody.
okay. So Rampant.
Rampant. Yeah.
I
Not
remember
Ramp-
Rampant.
Yeah.
Manuel
Remember that one?
and Tim.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys, and I remember sitting back watching that and going, all right, now I understand why these guys were so good at like ASA comps and shit. Because people, like the actual street comp, everyone's doing, tech tricks and
Yeah,
whatever.
and
And,
we're
then it's like
just-
the OG and everyone's going, woof, woof, like
Yeah.
blasting
Like, using
around.
the park.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's when my mate was talking about the ramp shaking
Yeah,
comment.
yeah.
Like it's going like,
Yeah.
like,
But that's like in those days, like I just learnt for me, like I just started going as fast as I can.
yeah.
And it just worked for me. Like yeah, it was and skating around and actually like because I used to when it was at that point in skating where everyone started doing all this fucking real crazy
Yeah.
shit, and it was before now where
Yeah.
people just roll and do what they want. But
Yeah.
back then, like I used to feel like you had to do.
You had to perform,
Yeah,
like almost.
you did, but that kind of set me back from skating too, because I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm not progressing. I'm not doing all this big crazy stuff anymore.
Switch up some crazy.
Yeah,
rails.
so I kind of like simplified my skating and just for me, that's when my style really developed, and just being confident and strong bodied and going really fast and just sticking simple tricks.
Yeah.
But people just used to, because there was always an advantage for me, like, when you get to a skate park and there's fucking bike riders there and skateboarders there.
Yeah.
You
You just go fast.
no, I just go, the first thing I do to get to a skate park is fucking drop in as fast as I can and do the biggest 540, and
Yeah,
just so
yeah.
everyone there knows to fucking stay out of my way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
stay out of my way, dude. Like, don't give me shit. Don't you dare fucking say fucking anything about being a rollerblader, like,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
fucking, I'll kill you, like.
yeah.
Don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many years of of being harassed and
That's the thing. People say, "Oh, you don't understand racism or whatever." Like, dude, I've been rollerblading for. I understand deeply.
Yeah. And for me, like, it got to a point, like, once I got big and
You
old.
also understand racism, but it's definitely.
Well, not racism, but
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a bad way of putting it.
It's being
Understanding not being being rocking up to a skate park, and you've got a bunch of people who automatically look at you and go, "Fuck you," for no other reason other than you've got a pair of skates.
So that's what I used to do, like because I can relate with anyone, and I'd get to a skate park, I'd just start fucking burling around. And all of a sudden, every single dude in that place will come up and
be like, "Oh what's going on?"
And that's it. That's how I set the tone.
So that's part of what we wanted to talk about with this whole podcast thing is like how you approach your skating. So when you go through whatever the different Josh Clark's like different types of skating and stuff. When you get to that point of I want to skate fast, how do you approach that kind of stuff? What like from a mental perspective, like you just go, I'm going to go in, drop in as fast as I can, do the biggest 540, whatever it is. Like, is that just how you approach it now, or like?
Yeah, well, not so much now, but then, like, you know, like 5-6 years ago, that was my, you know, I couldn't do these technical things. I couldn't do true spin.
Yeah.
Fucking, I couldn't, you know, for me to do
He
it.
could soul grind anything.
But that's it. So I didn't really I missed the boat on the whole.
Like
Hurricane
tap dance
type
rail.
Yeah,
shit.
like I didn't do it. Like
Yeah.
I just did natural, simple variations. You know, like the 270 back Nugan to soul grind. And alley oop to alley oop. And you know that was, and for me that like the only way for me to feel good about what I'm doing is just to do that simple stuff.
Just well though and fast.
And people just used to freak out, and I think it was the reaction from people. Like I remember they did a tour. It was like Dave Payne and Andy Cruz and that. They came to Australia and they street skated with us around the MCG.
VG20.
Yeah, VG20. So I've got a secret section in there that not many people have seen, but there's some really cool shit in there. It's like right at the end. But anyway, I never forget. Like
there is like a bunch of stuff on the DVD of the video, Australian stuff, but there's also secret stuff on that video.
Yeah. So, but like, we're skating the MCG ledge, the big one, and I was getting a run up from 100 meters away, and I never forget. Like, and Andy Cruz was just like, he was flipping out. He was just like. And then he actually wrote a thing I saw in a magazine a few months later
2002.
saying, Andy Cruz said as some comment in a magazine going, like, Josh Clarke is the most fastest, aggressive, craziest street skater.
Yeah.
But all I was doing was soul grinds, but I was just fucking, like, I was just skating as fast as I can. And for me as well, I could bail out. Like, I didn't hurt myself as much. And over the years, my hips...
You kind of get that. You can take it. You get that calcification.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Like I had to. It was my body was starting to give way, my wrists, and I just couldn't. Like for me to just go really fast and try something, and if I miss it, I just kind of slide out.
Yeah. Because you're going so quick. You kind of. It's like being coming from a motorbike.
And when I'm like, you know, I couldn't bear jacking myself trying other stuff on more technical things. I was like, and that's when I realized I'm just not a technical skater.
But that's the best thing now is I think it's not.
Yeah, but back then you didn't know that. That, like now I know that. Now, like if honestly, like now, like if I had time now to go out and skate, and I got like I'm currently working on getting my body back to. I think I'll, just having it in your mind and knowing what you can do and just having fun with it, Like,
that's it. But that's what I like is like that skating went through all those different steps, right?
Yeah.
Like so when, we're padded up, jump on the front side, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then there was, the whole park era, like ASA, blah, 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 then the technical stuff. Now it's like, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like
that's right.
There's still rules, though. There's still rules for those people at home. There's still things that look shit and things that look good. But
there are. But, if you're a naturally stylish skater and you can just make simple things,
That's my favorite thing about skating. So my big thing about skating is like, you can do the hardest trick you want,
Yeah.
but if it doesn't look good, I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah, style is the most important thing.
Yeah, and
Like-
that's for me. Like years later, like that's my, you know, like I said earlier, like I kind of filled out and I wasn't so tall and gangly.
Yeah.
And just felt really, you know, one of my favorite things as well is when Bo Coddington did a older bladers.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
that on my phone actually. Still, that was, you know, I've got like 5 tricks in there. That was right before I opened Little Boy Blue. You know, because I said
It's restaurant, your restaurant.
Yeah. Like right before I opened the restaurant, I said to myself, I'm like, I'm about to open a restaurant. I'm not going to skate for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out and get some clips. And that's why I went out with the dudes. I did a trip to Geelong and
Yeah.
and I wanted to get some clips because I knew, you know. But for me, like watching that stuff now, I'm just like, yeah, like it looks good. Like, you know, like it's not gangly. It's not, you know, I'm proud to show random people that. Like,
yeah. But that's it. And I think that's the whole thing with rollerblading, with it, like, you know, oh, you rollerblade, oh, it looks crap or whatever. It's easy. It's not easy.
No.
It looks good. The problem was we got put on a pedestal too early. Is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
see your point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So
Out of all of these videos, one of the most favorite pieces for you is on your phone.
Well, no, like, you know, there's lots there. There's all the old crank, but it's so old. You know, for me watching it myself, I like the stuff that I did in my latter years. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's not as good, I just feel like it was just more, just
more controlled.
Yeah,
more,
just controlled. Like, you know, as you mature.
Refined. It's refined.
Yeah, but
you're refined. You're like mature like a nice
as
red wine.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And you know, and if I didn't break my leg 4 years ago, like at Paran that night, if I didn't break my leg, I would have kept going, and I'd still be mashing it up. But for that whole injury it just, like I said earlier, it fucked my head, and it's just hard to get up. And
So you hurt your ankle at Paran.
Yeah, I broke my ankle and my leg at the same time.
I got there right after you did it.
Yeah,
I got there as it happened.
Yeah, so I did. I just, you know, I was a bit overweight, and you know, I did a little war ride, and I came down the bank on the wrong angle, and my weight just like it fucking snapped my leg, like just like that, and it snapped, and that's just been a.
Was it where the quarter met the bank?
Yeah, it's like that little.
It's a little box thing, but it's got the
I
dip.
heard you got clipped on where the quarter met the bank.
No. I just went along real fast, and I did a war ride, and then I came down the bank, but instead of going down the bank, I sort of went up it.
So the pressure.
Yeah. My body weight just went, and that was just like, yeah, it really put me back. Like that's, you know, I haven't really skated since then. So
I've got a question for you as well, and like, so one of the things I have to ask, so you talk about like soul grinds, classic tricks. Was there anything for you coming up skating, or even now, where you go, that is something that I could never do, or
there's heaps
of stuff where you're like, I could not do that.
Like I can't fathom it. I can't.
Yeah.
Like I nearly got, like way back in the day, I was doing like 360 to shifty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like doing like hurricane top soles and the whole true.
I was going to say, like, Hayden
yeah.
White never really did true tops.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't do that. Like for me to do a true top, I just feel like I'm just gonna break my ankle.
So did you ever have alley fish brains?
Oh mate, down pat.
Okay.
Down anything.
Cool.
I can alley fish brain.
You had alley soles
Yeah, but
both ways.
yeah.
Did you ever alley sole a kink rail switch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the one in Philly?
I've alley sold a couple of king rail switch. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Nah, the one in Philly. Yeah, that was a switch alley oop. Yeah.
I feel like you did it both ways. There's significant kink rail in Philly.
Nah, there's the one in Philly. I did normal sole.
Yeah.
It's the round curved one in the Bronx
was
in New
switch.
York was
Yeah.
switch.
Wow. Yeah.
But alley oop soles
Same
were like
video.
that was.
It was all Hoax 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was around then. Yeah, but those tricks were like, you know, they were easy. That's what I grew up doing.
In
So.
fifth. So what was your favourite? All right. So what were your favourite skates? But before that, what was your favourite trick to do? Like if someone was like,
Oh, it'd be full cab alley oop sole.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you could do
Or
one trick for
270
the
back
rest of your
Nugan.
life.
Yeah.
Full cab alley oop sole.
Yeah.
Yeah, or a fast as fuck alley oop fish brain.
Yeah.
Like on a ledge or something.
On a
like-
ledge?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What about skates? What was your favorite ever pair of skates?
Oh,
If you could say that like yeah.
it'd just have to be the M12s.
Uh-huh.
That's what the Roces, like that's
in,
what
in grey.
in any like that.
Just the boot, just everything.
That's probably what I do my most in.
Do you ever skate the green ones?
Nah, I wouldn't skate green skates.
Oh, really?
Nah.
But the navy ones, the grey ones, and the white ones.
Yeah, I just skated the white ones, the black ones. I think I had a pair of those maroon Fifth Elements. They were pretty, they were pretty shit. But it was like the skates I got now. It's the Majestics.
Yeah.
That's what I like. But I'm gonna try some more. Like I'm interested to get onto them skates, and I tried Razors. Razors were all right. They were a bit too clunky for me. But yeah, that's what I broke my leg in was the Roces. So I don't know. They were really old skates though. That's probably had a part in how I broke my leg because
They were UFS M12s.
Yeah, John, if you ever watch this, you're going to need to send him a pair of them skates, just saying.
No, it's all right. I'll just buy them. It's all good.
Bayside.
Bayside Blades, check them out.
They shared this.
I've actually
podcast.
got a pair waiting for me at Bayside, but I just don't have the money to get them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Kung got them for me, but
Interest free.
he's left now.
They're just in a warehouse somewhere.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
Sick.
fuck, because I still don't have. I saved up money to get my son a pair of them skates, so he's got them. But
So we're gonna talk about your son as well. Like, how good's this? So, I guess not even introduction to Josh, but hanging out with Josh is with you and your son Harley. Yeah. And going on like the Wednesday night free skate.
Yeah.
And
That was like his first introduction to skating.
and like hanging out and watching the both of them jump off stuff. Like, imagine you've got Josh Clarke, like an idol of so many people, with his son going back almost to your roots, like skating instead of the Friday night, Saturday night, but Wednesday night skate. We have a big skate through the city with like 100 people.
Yeah.
Skating, watching him, and Harley's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go jump off this. I'm gonna do this." And
Yeah, that
like,
was
Josh
a
is
special
like,
time.
"You, all right,
Yeah.
sick, do that." That's
And is Harley in high school yet?
Yeah, he just started high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays footy as well.
Yeah, that's why we don't have time for skate.
And what position does he play on the football field?
He's full forward at the moment,
Okay.
kicking goals.
Yeah.
And
So
before that, he was a rover anyway, right?
No, he's always been in the forward.
Okay.
Yeah. Always been kicking goals. But yeah,
Like, I care so much about like footy and positions.
Those,
but, yeah, I just thought if it was the same.
those, when I got him into that, that was special, and then we went out to that Geelong comp that day.
Yeah.
He still talks about it.
Yeah,
like
sick.
he loves it, and we want to do it, but it's just finding that time to do it,
So what's for Josh Clarke now, skating wise? Will we see another return?
Yeah, like I said, like I'm nearly 40, and the last few years I've been getting fit again. And I've been getting, I'm pretty healthy and I'm strong, and I'm slowly getting ready to actually, because like that leg break was a big mental thing for me. So
You've always had a bicycle in your life for the last 10 years.
but just especially the last few years, just making an effort to be constantly active. Like I've actually been on my blades, but I've been skating long distance. I've been just going on the bike track because I moved house and there's a bike track right next to me.
And you got big wheel frames, right? When those ground control
I've just got them.
bigs came out.
Yeah, I've got those.
Yeah.
So it's not that fast, but I just get on the bike track and I do like 10Ks and then just for exercise.
Back to the, like you said before, that's exactly it. Like I used to do Ks, but that's it. It's almost like back, like full circle.
Yeah.
That's so
but
sick.
for me, like I just want to be strong.
Yeah.
But before I do that.
Yeah.
And so I don't hurt myself again.
Yeah.
And now you'll see me skating again, and I'm gonna just approach it from a different. I'm just gonna have fun with it.
That's
I don't need to push myself. I don't need to prove anything to anyone.
Yeah.
I just go out and have a roll, and I'd really love to be doing it more with my son, and that he's the one that made me skate over the last few years.
Yeah.
But now he's I don't think he's gonna. I'm not gonna push it.
You just let them do what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push it. So I do want to, get. I just got my wife a pair of roller skates for Christmas, so we're almost we actually went down to the netball court about 2 months ago. With Asher was on her roller skates, I'm on my rollerblades. Harley was on his rollerblades, and then my other daughter's on her scooter, and my other daughter's on her bike. So
just
full roller family.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sick. What do you got? What do you got on the list?
All right, I've got a few. What was your proudest day as a skater? You killed it in the '97 Aussie titles. You had a win in America and stuff. what was your proudest day as a skater? And so this also relates to the other question, park versus street. Did you like skating park more? Did you like skating street more? When it comes to glory, you might have landed some trick in a session or killed it at some street event, street contest, some real street contest, but you've also done the same on the street course.
Yeah. Well,
What was your proudest and where was the setting?
probably.
What would you rather?
Well, the one that I talk about
Let's do it
most,
to your
like
heart.
when strangers ask me, like, what's the sick thing you do? It's like probably when I rolled down the Pizza Hut roof in the Lost Island.
Yep.
Like that old Pizza Hut. You know, not many people have
I
seen
mean,
it.
you gotta remember, Pizza Hut used to have the roof. Remember,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they used to build the buildings. that
So
had the-
we lived in Paran, and this Pizza Hut was on
Elstonwick.
Elstonwick,
Yeah,
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 there
yeah.
on the corner.
Where-
So it's
the
a
Peter Highway where the
real
golf course is.
busy corner.
yeah.
And we went. I'd been eyeing it off for a while, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And I'd been mentally preparing,
Getting ready.
to go and
Yeah.
climb up on
Yeah.
this roof and roll down this fucking roof. And we went there one day just to check it out, and it was open, so there was people in there. and anyway, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to climb up. So I took my skates off, climbed up on this roof, and I'm standing up on the big top bit, and I dropped, first attempt ever, I dropped in, and I was leaning too far forward, and my front toe actually went through
One of the
the
tiles.
shingles tiles.
yeah.
And I've actually, so I've gone down, front foot went in the shingles, and then I've gone onto my chest.
Mm-hmm.
I've slid down straight to the gutter, and then I did like
Like kind of crab walk out or
yeah,
something.
and
Yeah,
I actually
You
like.
did a burpee out of it. You know what a burpee? You burpeed out of it.
No, I did, and I did something, and I fell off the roof. And anyway, I'm lying on the car park, and next minute the manager of Pizza Hut comes down, and he's like, I'm on the ground, and he's like,
What the fuck?
he's like, what's going on here? I'm like, he's like, someone on the roof, and I'm like, nah, man, are you crazy? I'm just like skating I'm just skating in the car park, like, and then. Boy, he's just like,
Man.
he's like, what's going on? All the customers
It's like
are
some
like,
25-year-old dude, like, get
Yeah.
this guy off my roof. I don't know,
but
man.
they didn't know. They just heard the bang.
So he would have
Yeah.
been like early 20s, I reckon.
Yeah. And then they just heard the bang, and I'm on the ground like, nah, man, like, are you crazy? I'm not up on the roof. And I was like, all right, boys, maybe we'll come back another day. So we went home, and then it was a public holiday a few days. So we went back a few days later, and it was closed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, right. And that's the one that's in the video.
Yeah.
And I get up, climb up on my skates,
Sick.
drop in, and
So when you stacked it, you went on skates?
no, I was on skates.
So was that stack in the video?
Nah,
All right.
nah,
Damn.
no.
Didn't make it.
And then in the
Because you
video,
had two ones from the video. One of them was
Yeah,
like
and
a
one I
decent
actually-
fall, and
I
one of
did
them
it,
you-
I actually
you catted
let-
it out like a ninja.
yeah, no, it's a different. We didn't film it,
Yeah.
so we were just sussing it out. So yeah, that for me, like when I speak to people that don't rollerblade, I tell them. I always say that I rolled, and they're like, "What the fuck?" So that would that would probably be one of my big ones. What else over the years? Oh fuck, there's so many. Like Lausanne, that day doing the
Full cab sole.
that
Just on
was
one.
that was huge. Like everybody there freaked out. They were just like, "This guy's fucking crazy," Yeah, and that
So like, imagine this big set of stairs down rail, and next to the top of the set of stairs is a quarter pipe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's full cabbed off of there to the center of the.
Yeah.
that was a big one. Like obviously all the comps, like the winning all the comps, that's always good. But I think maybe the street comp, that the Higgs comp in Melbourne,
Yeah.
that day, like I was telling you earlier, like I got up that morning and I said to the boys on the way, like we were all hungover and we'd been out partying all night, and I hadn't skated in 8 months, and I was like, I remember like just being an arrogant young prick that I was like, yeah, I'm going to show these little. It was like when little Gav was coming up, like Gav Drum was.
Is that the toe in with the car? Like that
Yeah,
stuff?
that day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Did you get towed in
I
for
got
that trick?
towed in, yeah. To
You-
the alley. Well, all right, that was
Yeah.
that was a big one.
So
That's
you.
a fucking huge trick.
Who else
Hang
got
on.
towed
Hang
in?
on.
Hayden
Let's slow that
missed you
down.
the stairs.
Yeah, I missed it.
That was
Ross,
a big one.
Alley ball ride, Brendan broke his hand.
Yeah.
You landed the alley ball ride and you fived it.
Yeah.
You You weren't in shorts, but you fived it in shorts on a different occasion or something.
Maybe, yeah, but that comp
But
to me.
did you have that planned? I'm going to alley ball right. That's the
Nah,
death-
just-
it was called the death ledge because
It's a big
Yeah,
double
but for
double
me,
set.
like,
Like,
that
No,
ledge.
it was like a single set.
I wasn't
big
gonna
drop
do-
ledge right there and a wall here.
I
and the
wasn't
alley
gonna
ball.
do
It was like a
anything else.
16, 17 stair.
Yeah, we got photos of it, but I wasn't going to do anything else on that ledge. Like, I was only going to... I rolled the ledge.
yeah.
I top-sold it. I over-acided it. I was thinking about doing alley-oop. I was like, no. So I was like, I'm just going to fucking alley-oop wall ride, 360 out. And did that.
No, you didn't 3 out.
No, I didn't. It came out backwards.
So fake it,
yeah.
It's it. Like for
And solid.
those playing at home, there is footage of this somewhere on YouTube, and it is fucking
Yeah.
huge.
So there was
like,
that. But that morning, I never forget, I was like, I'm going to show these kids. I said to the boys, I'm going to show these dudes fucking what's up. I'm like, today's my day. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
coming out like fucking...
Was
I'm
it a
just-
Higgs or a...
Yeah, Higgs.
Yeah.
When the one Danny organised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
So there was that, I think...
Started at Grattan Street Ledges. What
Yeah,
is now
yeah, yeah.
University
Yeah,
Square.
yeah.
Dude, I remember the footage. It's
Yeah,
Yeah, Brown Renegade.
that was a good day
It's
for
on
me.
video.
But
32-16.
yeah,
Shout
like
out.
besides that, like...
No, it wasn't on 32 and 6.
No, but Brown
I think
Renegade.
I think
17,
way
yeah.
back, going
Brown
way
Belt
back in the
Productions.
day, like doing St Kilda Kink for the first time.
The triple kink.
Yeah, that was like, and like I was like,
You've written 2 videos top sold.
yeah, I've top sold it, I've back shifted it, I've done I think I did a switch up. No, I'm not thinking about that one. And there was a few like backside backslides down kink rails, and I don't know. There's a few things. Oh, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Jesus.
You've actually got the cover of the little booklet that came with this that's floating around on this table somewhere, I reckon.
Ah,
Crank 2.
yeah, I remember that one.
You had a cover of a few videos in the end. Not a few, at least.
Yeah.
more than
Did you
one.
have a magazine cover?
Can you think of video covers you had?
Yeah, there's a Daily Bread video, and I'm jumping off a roof over a fence.
Really?
Jess Darrenforth took it. Yeah, it was like one of the Daily Bread videos.
All right, we have
Really?
to look at that.
So hang on. Forest Fire, Transcend, Daily Bread video.
Yeah, I'm jumping off a roof over a wire fence into a bank. That was a
All
big
right.
one.
So I got another question here.
Mm.
Who's the greatest of all time, in your opinion? Big question. Or
What now or
just in general,
Who-
in your mind, if you were to say that's the dude, who would it be? So many. We could go a couple as well throughout the years. Like who is the best? Who is the best in your mind? It's a hard question to mark, like because there's so many different things.
Yeah,
Who was your favorite? All right, because I got 2 eras for this question.
yeah. There's different eras.
was
Like
your
now,
favourite?
like the later eras when I stopped skating,
Yeah.
I love watching Alex Brosco
There you go.
Yeah,
and I love all the stuff those guys do.
sick.
So what about teenage Josh Clarke? Who was his favorite skater?
Oh, it was like my idols. It was Eric Shrine and
Sick.
Brian Bell
Yep.
and Arlo and
Shout out Erica Shine. He started following the podcast the other day. We saw
Rest
that.
in
Yeah,
peace,
yeah,
Brian Bell.
Yeah.
yeah. Good old mate of mine, both of them, Brian Bell and Eric, good friends of mine. But
Brian came to Melbourne with John Robinson.
yeah.
How is that? How did
Yeah,
that happen? It was so random. They were in No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, it was a
Skating
roll.
around the South Gate.
They came
area.
on a rollerblade tour, and we met at SMC, and we just took them around the city and skated everything in the city. Yeah, but it's a hard question.
John Robinson from Minnesota.
My
Brian
favorite
Bell from
skater back
Southern
in the
California.
day. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely. I love watching the new guys. Like I said, like the Broscos and even some of the other newer guys are just. Yeah, it's pretty mind blowing.
Pretty finessed, hey.
John,
Yeah.
That's
John
it.
Bellino, did you get into
Yeah,
him?
he's sick.
Yeah.
Love it. I follow him. He's Palmer fucking cheese or whatever he calls
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
I watch all that. I love that. It's sick.
Sick.
Because I played this guy, Billy O'Neill's Haitian.
He's
Yeah.
sick
was it
too.
the
But yeah, I
Shima
like.
SM Skates section.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've never seen this guy so stoked on skate.
That
media
Disaster
in a
Soul?
while.
Mm.
Yeah. The covers and
The Haitian Mag cover. Yeah.
It was up there for the last episode.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so many, eh? Like,
There's so many people. It's hard to say that.
yeah, it's
Like,
a tough question because there's so many. Like there's like Blake Dennis and like styles. Like look at Harley Imber back in the day, and like, It just depends, really, like on the day, I guess. But yeah, that's a tough question.
So there's Blake Dennis. For
There's
style.
Blake.
Harley Imbar, so stylish you named your kid after it.
Well, no, it wasn't after him. I just like the name.
All right.
All right. So we got.
If he was unstylish, do you reckon you would have named your son that?
Yeah, no,
Would've been
I just
pretty-
always liked that name.
All right. We got much more. What do you reckon?
Well, like, I guess not. Like, you making movies. Tell us about your experiences with various filmmakers, and then becoming a filmmaker yourself, in a sense,
Whoa.
because you were with
Yeah,
the
like
guys in the Hoax.
yeah, there was the
and
Hoax
T-Bone
guys,
films.
and then there was Spencer, Franks.
You've done
and-
Spencer. You done Dave Payne.
Yeah, like
you were even working at you were skating at Woodward. Was that with Dave Payne as well?
yeah, when
Colony
I,
of Summer.
yeah, I was there.
You had heaps of clips in this. Colony of Summer 2.
I've got heaps of clips in that.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't even
think
remember
so.
that one.
You
Yeah,
had-
no. Well, I spent
Woodward one.
I spent 2 summers, like a couple of weeks at Woodward. Yeah.
You know where that is?
Yeah, that's South Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
What's this one?
So
Ellie.
there's a little booklet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Top Port.
Yeah, like working with those guys, like when we did, Spencer, like, he was a guy that didn't know much about the industry, and he kind of took us under his wing, and we guided him.
He just had the camera. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. And, we were just all about it. Like he just made us feel special. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we went around with him. I actually helped Spencer on some other filming projects after that. I was
Uh-huh.
there. What do they call it? The best boy?
The best boy. The
know,
key grip.
The one holding the wires. I
Yeah.
actually went out on a few day trips and helped him with that. And like the Evan Stone and those guys, like
T-Bone.
yeah, the T-Bones, they were just they were just kind of there, just filming us. Like, and then I wouldn't say that we weren't really filmmakers. Like we were just kids.
Yeah, you just had cameras.
we
but
we were just kids with a cameraman. Like,
when you edited together, it had a vibe. Certainly, The Lost Island, like
yeah,
8 Reasons was a section video,
yeah.
whereas The Lost Island was a bit more of a montage video.
It was, and it was a real vibe. That was just us. That was like me with all the music was like all my records. Like we had a record player. We were just filming like
They
the
would
music.
film and have the audio of the footage with the record.
Yeah.
Like if you saw logos in this video, it's because they filmed the sticker.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we did.
Sponsored by Cosmo.
We were just complete amateurs. Like,
So you had the cover of Back in the Day,
Mm.
but it's one of the videos of holding up this camera because it's stacked on a pile of VHS tapes. But you also had this cover. I confirmed that that's you.
Sick options.
Oh my god, yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Look.
Wow, that is me. Sorry, I didn't even know that. I do have a cover of a video. Jesus Christ.
VUT.
That was the that was the big
anymore.
King Crail in Footscray, yeah. Wow. And it's funny that I had the cover because that was the only trick I did in that video.
Oh yeah. No
Well, I'm
kidding.
not actually in the video.
It's just.
It's just that one. I did that one trick.
Yeah, actually, I think
Sick
Toby mentioned
options,
that
guys.
as well.
I like the artwork. It's very good.
You guys
Yeah,
had
that was Laszlo.
yeah. So he did Yellow Brick Road.
Yes.
And that had heaps of footage for you. So what
Yeah,
was it? How did Dave Payne come to want to hit up Josh Clarke for a mini file in VG6?
Well, Dave Payne was here on the weekend that I won the Aussie titles under 16s, and I was just
the whole lot. The
I
Triple
was-
Crown.
Why wouldn't you want to come and fucking film me?
So he didn't know you before that.
No, we
really?
all met there,
Like,
and
wow.
like after the comp, they're like, "Let's go film," and we're like,
I got
"Right."
an extra sticker on here. Side
So
photos
actually,
on
when
the pile
Dave
there.
was here filming, we were actually filming with Spencer at the same time. So I actually was filming with Spencer doing the St Kilda King Crail, and then after that, we went into the city with Dave
Yeah.
Payne. So we were filming with
Different videos and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was around the same time as you were doing it in videos like Yellow Brick Road. Did you do the security kick in this one as well?
I think so,
Wow.
maybe, but yeah, like. Yeah, I can't remember that. I don't think I did a. I don't
There
think
was
I
a
did
lot
it.
of continuity in clothing between this and No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It
you did
changed a
One
lot.
Love as well
Yes,
with Spencer.
that was a tour
So you did,
across
like-
America.
Okay, One Love was a tour, and Back in the Day
It was
was.
a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was 2 tours, but one of them went over to Europe, which I wasn't there. That was the one where Tim Ward's, doing all the lines, and that's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just in the Aussie bits and that. I didn't get to go to the Europe thing because I was in America doing Roces stuff, and they were there doing that. So.
But then you did the Midwest tour
with
in back in the day.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was like me, Dion, Josh Petty. I don't even remember.
Or was that
now.
One Love? Because Petty was One Love.
Yeah. That was a good tour.
And Blake.
Yeah, that was fun. Like we all had the sponsors paid for it. We got per diem money. We got given money every day. We just skated and got filmed and just went shopping and ate and skated and just hung out and tried to score weed and fucking that was all we did. Like that was the mission for the day. Get some clips, get some dope, and eat a nice dinner and
That's it.
Yeah.
So what was the best tour? Because you've done you did the Roadkill tour in Australia as well.
Roadkill. Did I do that?
Maybe you didn't take the bus from Perth, but
No.
you're in that video.
Yeah, I was just.
When they
I
came
didn't-
through, and you I think
No,
you had
I was a bit snobby with my tours because I went on the Hoax one. Like I actually.
You got spoilt from the start.
Yeah, like I went on
I've done
one.
Hoax, man.
I went on one with Tom Sampson on my comeback, like after the Melbourne X Games around that time, like when I broke my wrist in New Zealand, I went on a tour with Tom Sampson, and I was just I left halfway through, like nothing against them, but it was just. Like after being on a nice bus and
I'm not getting in the back of a
Not
Tirana.
slubbing it.
per diem and getting paid money and
You mean we're sleeping in someone's backyard? No,
Yeah.
fuck this.
Oh, that's pretty much what I said. And I was like, I'm going home, man. Sorry, guys.
That's every one of the tours that I've ever
Right.
put together. Is
So I
like,
was going to say, when you peaked as a skater, but when you peaked as a diva, that would have been right.
Yeah, but I was just like, I was honest. I was just like, I want to go. It's just shit.
So your favourite trick would have been that, one of your proudest tricks, one of the best examples of your skating is that Pizza Hut roof. That's probably the time I would suggest that you were skating your strongest, throwing 540s over double sets in Lost Island.
Yeah.
Like
That was my favorite
the
skating.
strongest era of
Yeah.
Clarke.
Yeah, that was when I was happy. That was when I was home and just, we were just street skating. Just like, that's what we are, street skaters. Like,
yeah.
I can skate a park and that. I can pump a bowl, but street
So
skating.
your favorite is street
Oh,
skating?
yeah, of course, through and through. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Like,
There's nothing
but
better.
we grew up skating mini ramp. Like I grew up on a mini ramp. So transitions were just like natural.
Yeah.
It's just easy.
There's
But
something about going into the city and just cruising around and finding stuff it's the best.
Going into the city and skating down St Kilda Road on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We skated digital. I want to say it was not
Yeah.
that long ago, but it was probably before the pandemic. But
Yeah.
we all skated
Yeah.
I
digital
saw
and
your
stuff. It was
thing.
sick.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I skated there more recently than that.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
me and Caratelli. And So what was your favourite place to skate in Melbourne then?
Probably like I said, like just getting on St Kilda Road with the boys and just finding new
St Kilda Road.
spots and
Yeah.
Exploring St Kilda Road.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and just I used to love just going through the city and jumping on the back of trams and getting chased by security guards and I always got off on that. Like I used to be so mean to security guards. I feel bad now. Like
Just trying to do their job.
I know, and I used to fucking give it to them. Like I used to be like, I fucking make more money than you do in a fucking year. Like I was such a dickhead. Like they're like, who the fuck's this kid? Like why is he yelling at me? I'm like, because you
Peaked as a
kicked us.
diva
I'm
early
like,
then.
get a life. Like we're filming a movie. I go, I'm doing something with my life. I'm filming a movie. Why are you kicking me out? Like fucking.
Some poor bloke is like,
Yeah.
honey, I came home. This
Yeah.
guy was yelling at me.
Yeah.
I was just trying to do my job. He's
Pretty
filming
much.
a movie. I'm
That
not sure
was-
what he's doing.
That was me, but you look at that when you're older and you're like, fuck. I'm not like that anymore.
But we're all that 15, 16, man. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Would you rather skate park now or street?
Probably park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now my street days are over and I'll just go to a park and, do a few drop-ins, do a few soul grinds,
Big 540.
Maybe if
Let you
you-
know who's boss.
maybe a few 540s, tell the bike riders to fucking shut the fuck up and and that's it.
Yeah.
So that was almost 10 years ago that we had the first OG section of a
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
major event in Australia that was like the over 30s.
You know,
It's been pushed out to over
I hit 30
35s
and I
now.
was so stoked. I was like, I can go in the OG thing, and then like, oh yeah, no, it's 40 plus now. I was like,
You turned 40 in October.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I don't know. I guess numbers just an age, really. I don't feel. I feel pretty happy and content with my life. I've made many mistakes, but I feel like I'm in a good place right now. You know, I would really like to skate a bit more. That's what I want to try and focus on. But
We say you're getting healthy than you were.
well, yeah, you know,
And
just
that's
not.
without skating.
Yeah, just not you know, not partying like we used to, and not drinking all the time, and just eating well and being constantly active, and you know, running and skating and running around with my kids, and you know, dropping a few Ks. Yeah.
just doing some Ks, mate.
And
dropping a few kgs.
and dropping a few
Shedding
kgs.
a few.
Yeah.
Running some Ks, dropping kgs.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Mate.
Like-
That's what I'm feeling.
Ross got into stuntman work. Like he
Yeah,
got
he's
real-
amazing,
yeah,
man.
He could.
He's
yeah,
in so many things.
You could be his Padawan in the gym.
Yeah, no, he runs, and he's a fit dude, man.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, you got to, like, you know, you get to this age, if you don't take care of yourself, you know, you're gonna.
What do you think about like so Julio? He's a few years older. He's still
he's
skating,
amazing,
throwing
like-
himself down. That's pretty
Well,
sick.
what do you say about Julio? Like,
He's just doing it.
He's the best there is.
Man.
He's living the life.
That's-
Like, my hat's off to him. Like, years ago, I thought for so long, like, what can I do
Yeah,
in this industry? Like,
Yeah.
can I? But in Australia, you know, you can't
it's too far.
you can't make a living.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like,
Well, what
and
did that? Like, if you had a product, what would it have been? Like, your contribution was videos.
well, we had,
But-
you know, we wanted to do a skate company. We wanted to buy a mold and do our own skates. Like, we
Okay.
thought about that years ago.
Who's
but-
we?
Like, me and Corbs.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, clothing, but you know, you realize that it's, you know, you got to be so passionate, and you know, I didn't have that passion anymore to do that, to make a living off it. I should have done it. Like, the skate school thing is what I should have done. I actually got offered years ago by this guy that was a speed skater. He wanted to start a proper rollerblade school.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think back now, I'm like, if we actually had done that, it would have.
I think the grassroots is important. Like if
Yeah.
you spoke about the the 5 day a week after school stuff. Like Liam Harris came out of that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there, you do that with kids. You fill a van full
Yeah.
of skates. You grassroots it. You go around to schools. You
Yeah.
do. Oh, this is fun, and
Yeah.
people pick it
yeah.
up.
And
That's it.
I did like that. I did a bit of that in the whole, but after a while, trying to teach people how to do something
Yeah.
that comes so naturally to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just like,
You can't break it down.
Nah.
You're like, just do it.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was when I realized, you know, like, yeah, working with and helping them learn that. But it wasn't, I didn't get a kick out of it. So
Yeah, okay.
I just stopped doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite section? I mean, like, then and now, maybe, probably.
Of me?
Everyone's, yeah, of yourself in all of these videos, and of some other skater that you always would be like, yeah, that was my favorite section because the music was just right, or because their skating was always sick.
Yeah, not really in particular. I keep up to date with all the stuff. It's just, I like watching all the new stuff.
What was your favorite video?
Growing up?
Yeah.
Well, Hoax.
Hoax.
Mad
Hoax
Beef.
too.
Mad
okay,
Beef.
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Mad Beef. Like,
What was your favorite video that you were in?
that I was in?
Yeah.
Probably the Hoax 5. I was pretty happy to be in that.
Okay.
Because they featured me through so much of it and saw so many different things, and it was all just alley-oop souls and 270 Nugans,
But they were
let's
both
see.
ways.
but that was pretty monumental for me, watching Hoax and then being in the one.
Yeah,
you
because
know-
he mentions like, man, we just watched Hoax 2 in the van, and now I'm like, well, that's us.
yeah. So
Was there anyone who didn't get the limelight that they deserved in Australia because they weren't able to film with someone? They didn't get hooked up by a brand. They didn't get sent anywhere. Is
They're
there?
a small market skater.
Yeah.
There is Chris Corvino.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my best mate.
Of course, for sure.
Yeah.
He's so sick.
So he rode for K2 in Australia.
Yeah, he did,
He
but
was
like,
supposed to have a ticket overseas one time.
nah, yeah, but he never like those times when me and Dion went to the States,
Yeah.
Corvs was with us.
He was
too.
with you guys the whole time.
Yeah. So Corvs, like, you know, he got fucking left in Australia.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I don't know how he felt. He must have felt like shit because we were over there. But I felt for him. I actually got fucking Ron Hunter. Remember Ron Hunter?
Yeah, dude.
Harold
Yeah.
Hunter.
I
met him.
Kids like the
Yeah.
check
So
out
I
Harold
met-
Hunter, Ron Hunter. There's a
Ron Hunter's a good mate of
Ron
mine.
Hunter
We-
was a pro skateboarder.
Yeah.
His brother was the pro rollerblader.
That's
Yeah.
Was he
right.
pro? Or he
So
was-
when I was in New
was a
York,
rollerblader.
and I called Corvs with my phone card, and I put him on the phone with Ron Hunter, and just to
Yeah.
so
yeah.
he can get
can-
a bit of it. Like we
Yeah.
felt bad. Like he fucking missed out. He was better than all the other kids out there.
Oh,
He
man.
fucking smashed it.
I've had a handful of time skating with Corvs, and it's always a pleasure.
yeah. So yeah, definitely Chris Corvino.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. So that's all right.
Casa
So
Grande was pretty good as well. Eh?
Oh, Joel, yeah.
Joel,
Dude.
yeah,
Like
he
the
was
three
sick.
of them, when this guy was peaking and Corvs was about to win like street contests and stuff. I think that's when he did an alley fish on the death ledge.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
The last
Frankston.
Frankston.
from
Joel
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
friend, mate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we still talk. We still talk sometimes. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a montage.
He's a
of him,
wakeboarder.
Corv and Joel.
He's a
and
wakeboarder.
It's fire.
Yeah.
So the other thing, as I said, like before this, I was talking to Scotty via
Yeah.
the Coping Box Instagram. You should get on that, follow it. It's pretty good.
Was that your spiel?
That was my spiel, mate. Look, the way we started this podcast is like you can either watch it or don't. We don't give a fuck. Like, do what you want. It's okay. We're gonna have some conversations with people.
We're still here.
But that's it. We're still here. But so I was talking to Scotty. He's quite keen to have. So he had his OG jam in Manly and stuff. What are your thoughts to get the boys together and
Mate,
do something similar?
Scotty, do that.
Yeah. All right.
Make it happen.
Well, it's only going to
Book in a
be
date.
legit if you lot show up.
Man, I'll be there. I just gotta.
LSMC
I gotta get
Sopranos.
some time off work. That's a hard thing. It's a hard thing running a kitchen and getting time off. Like,
We do it in the afternoon.
unfortunately, in my chosen profession, that's what's pretty much kept me out of skating because
Yeah, okay.
I just work too much.
So we'll put it that way. We're gonna.
Working weekends can really
So what we
clash with
said.
skating, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. What we
Working
said.
nights, working weekends. You chose an industry that didn't support your skating very well.
yeah, but I don't work nights anymore. But you know, I got Sunday, Mondays off, but I got my son's football on Sundays, so you know, I don't have much luck.
Well-
But yeah, no, Scotty, book it. Do the.
Let's do it. Let's do
You
it.
got to do it. Make it happen.
I
Like
think-
people want it.
We were talking about if we're going to do it in Melbourne, it's going to be Paran Skate Park before it gets pulled down. That's it.
Sounds like a great idea.
Let's make it
Hey,
happen.
I'll be there
All right.
without breaking any legs.
That's it.
All right, and you can help rally the troops as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Where to from now? We got any more? Or are we gonna? I think
I
we.
don't know, sure. We feel like we've been talking for a while. Is it
I actually need to take a piss.
I think we're getting to a good wrap up point here.
all right? You guys been taking the piss long enough? It's time to actually take a piss.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Episode 3, Josh Clarke. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
We
Thanks
really
for having
enjoyed
me.
it.
Episode 4. We haven't got one officially lined up, but I know there's someone that we could call out.
Yeah, there's Scotty Crawford, Josh Pincus,
Sam.
Sam Fogarty,
Sam
Sammy.
Fogarty.
Come on, mate.
We got a few people.
You
We're
gotta
hunting
hear
for
some
you.
stories from Sam Fogarty.
Yeah.
That's it. Come sit down. Let's have a chat. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll see you soon for episode 4. But Josh Clarke, that's it. Like, subscribe. Don't watch it. We don't care. Whatever.
Thanks for changing your heart, man. Thanks for coming in.
Nah, that's all good, man.
Yeah, actually, there's the last thing we'll say is we were going to start with this. We brought it up. So initially, what changed? So Josh was like, I'm not going to do it. But
He
what
was talking
changed
about
him?
this earlier
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we started recording. I was
Well-
like, stop telling us. Put it on camera. Why the change of heart? So many times I said, so we're going to have this thing. She come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
mate.
you know, in my
I think
older age, you know, I wouldn't say I'm jaded, but, you know, I'm a bit of a, you know, I'm an old chef, mate. Like, I don't want to fucking hear from anyone. And and then Paulie messaged me, and like I told you, when you asked me what changed your mind, it was like, you caught me at a good moment. And I had my workmate, you know, Nico, and he's like, I told him, he's like, what do you mean, you know? What's the French accent? He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You gotta they want to do a podcast and you? He's like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Go and do it. I'm like, no, what do they don't want to hear? I'm like, he's like, no one would ever want to interview me. Like, fucking go and do your podcast and speak to the guys about, about the rollerbladers, and people want to hear from you. Like, be proud of what you've done. And yeah, I am. And it made me think, like, yes. Yeah, should be proud. And, I may have blocked it out of my life for a while, but it's always there. I'm always watching, I'm still a fucking rollerblader. Like, I'm still skating, driving to work, and you go past the spot and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it'll never stop, even when we're 60. So, yeah, that's what got me.
I think that's a good way to end it out.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers. Done. All right. I got to say, we started this podcast to share some light on these kind of things in Australia. You can you can subscribe, you can watch many other things, like whatever, mate. Do what you want, but I think we've got a pretty good thing going, so enjoy.
Yes.
Hope
Tune
you come
in.
along.
Tell your mates.
Tell your mates, tell your friends, tell your next door neighbour if they're a lawyer. Let them look over a contract. It'll be fine. Peace out, guys. Thanks very much.
Peace.